No cast. You're on.
There was no music?
No music.
Oh, I was waiting for music. Oh. Hey, everybody. Sorry, I was waiting for a theme song. Welcome to the Fat Irish Nerd Podcast. I'm Keith Patrick, and with us today, as always... Whoa, let me turn... Wow, sorry.
We're professional.
Apparently, I got my phone on volume loud. My bad.
Volume loud.
We've got Crease.
Hello. Why you... Why, okay.
It's
hi,
the
hello.
order we've always done it.
It's always.
Hello.
We've got Jorge El Grande.
Hello.
We've got Boots.
Que pasa?
And with us today, we have a very special guest, a good friend of ours and member of Cherryland Ghostbusters, Nate Dean.
Hello.
Yay! Welcome to the podcast.
I'm excited.
Yeah, he's in full uniform and brought some cool stuff.
Yeah, I thought you guys were all going to dress up too.
I got my Ghostbusters shirt on.
Okay, that's good.
So
my
he's
Ghostbusters
got a
underoos
UFO shirt on.
Yeah.
I can't sit down with my stuff on.
Today we're here to celebrate the 35th anniversary of Ghostbusters, and I do believe today is the exact date it came out 35 years ago.
Correct.
Awesome. So, Yeah. Woo! Exciting. Before we get into talking about Ghostbusters, there's just a couple of news things that have happened in the week that we would like to touch on.
Yeah, one pretty major.
Go ahead and take it, Boots.
Swamp Thing has been canceled due to a tax accountant
Right. Clerical error.
error. Oh, my God.
One episode.
Mm-hmm.
And like originally it was cut down from 13 to 10.
10, yeah.
And they were apparently that had something to do with the executives not liking the direction of it.
Yeah, which threw a stick in their spokes to begin with,
Right.
because you're writing a show that's supposed to leave on a cliffhanger. You got to go back and rewrite everything.
Exactly. And yeah, like I don't understand what they didn't like about the direction it was going in, because they were doing it right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and everybody was latching on it.
Let's
Had like,
finally do this character right.
had like a 92% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Well, here's the thing. I heard that it had nothing to do with anything as far as the show. They actually liked the show, but it was like because where they were filming it, they were getting like huge tax write-offs or
Yeah.
whatever. But,
They-
but and that because there was a clerical error, so they didn't get back as much money as they thought they were. So they pulled.
That's why they canceled it. But the
Yeah.
reason why they cut the episodes is they apparently didn't like the direction it was writing or something.
Really, I didn't even hear that part.
Yeah.
Sorry. That
No,
sucks.
yeah, you're good. But yeah, fans are loving it everywhere. It's
You're good.
way better than the
Were
TV
so,
series and the
yeah.
movies.
Are
And
they airing the rest of them?
yeah,
still?
they're gonna
Yeah.
they're gonna finish airing the rest of the season. So
Is it still going to be the original casted?
yes,
That
it's
is-
gonna be the original
yeah.
cast. Still, they
No-
have already finished filming it. So
I was watching a video of a guy talking about this certain thing, and he said, hearing that it's canceled, not even a week out, he really doesn't even care to watch the rest of it.
right, exactly.
And I'm curious if DC would, hearing that, if they would just unload
All
the
the
rest of
it?
them.
Yeah,
That'd
know,
be
that
interesting.
makes sense.
Keep people while they're hooked. Just unload it.
Share the.
That'd be smart. I mean, they haven't done that with any of the other series,
No.
but I mean, yeah. Hey, we're not gonna continue this, so here's everything.
Yep.
Not a bad idea. I like
Keep
that
people
idea.
interested. Do something else with the comics in the same name.
Right. Okay.
But didn't the same day they announced all the pricing for the Warner Brothers full streaming service that kind of seems like cut away at the DC Universe online thing of wait, are these going to be two separate things?
Yeah, because Warner Media, which is the new whatever Time Warner AT&T combined
Conglomerate,
thing. Yeah, that's
yeah.
overseeing all this now. They originally want to do a Warner Brothers streaming service, and so yeah, that's why now the DC Universe streaming app is going to be reevaluated or whatever.
Yeah, it seems like they don't care anymore about it. Almost kind of feels like the whole tone. This is being the nail in that coffin. Almost.
Pretty much, it could be, which sucks because I mean they unloaded a bunch of their backlog of comics on there that you could read. Like we were looking at it, had almost the entire run of
Volume 2.
the Swamp Thing.
Yeah.
Was it Saga?
Saga of the Swamp
Saga
Thing,
of the
which
Swamp
is
Thing.
technically Volume 2.
It's Volume 2, yeah. So
Yep.
So let me get this straight. They canceled Swamp Thing because they weren't getting enough money because they miscalculated the taxes that they were writing off.
It wasn't DC that miscalculated. It
was-
was the state of North
Was it
Carolina.
Yeah, North Carolina.
yeah, they're supposed to get $30 million back.
Yeah, they had tax write-offs for people who film in certain locations, so they brings their business.
Right.
So what had happened is there was a clerical error
Yeah.
at their office.
And it's not just Swamp
Error.
Thing. There's a show called Uncle Frank that's also affected by this.
Oh, really?
Oh,
So yeah.
Oh, so it's
Are
not just
they
Swamp Thing.
getting
Yeah.
canceled too, or what?
Well,
I don't know if they're. I don't know.
I don't,
just know
that's
that
that's
they
a
were-
totally different network.
Mm.
So, I'm going to continue watching it.
Yep.
Because I really enjoyed it, and
Yeah, it was going in a beautiful direction. So
very well done. All right.
Segue.
Segue.
New
the
direction.
trailer. Speaking of stuff that's already been canceled, season.
My hopes and dreams.
Did you ever have hopes and dreams?
Firefly.
I did when I was at least 3.
Oh,
Wait, Firefly has been
Firefly.
canceled?
wait a minute. Whoa. What?
I just watched it on Netflix. The
Yeah,
other day.
I know.
Actually, you said that,
just
and I
waiting
didn't
for-
think about it, and it hurt my heart a little bit.
Aw.
Um,
Keep waiting for season 2.
Not going to happen. It's been like 20 years almost. Jessica Jones season 3 trailer was dropped recently. I mean, I like the first 2 seasons. I'll watch the 3rd season, but it's coming out, I think, this month or next month.
Couple weeks.
I
think it's mid-June.
Mid-June. All right, sweet.
From what I remember, the trailer.
Okay.
Which I was excited before, but then Kevin Feige and the Marvel Cinematic Universe hardcore threw Netflix under the bus in the last month.
Right, yeah.
Endgame, really saying we don't want anything to do with it. We got all these other shows. And you're like, well, does that mean Netflix even spent any money on the show?
Right.
Wow.
That's the disappointing part. You don't even know if it could be good because they may have just said we contractually are obligated to film it, but not made it any good.
Mm-hmm. Which, I mean, is not. I mean, if they didn't throw too much money on it, that's not too bad with that show because that show really didn't rely heavy on CG. It was more of a kind of film noir type detective thing.
True.
So,
Yeah,
but they were. I mean, it seems like Hellcat's coming into this season, so that'll be interesting.
Wow.
What?
My wife is watching this.
Whoa.
What?
Yeah, I know. She made the first comment. It's like Firefly is a great show.
Yeah, it is.
I'm sorry.
Was
Was.
a great
Was
show.
a great show.
Ooh.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, do you know?
Wow.
Do you know how you're supposed to clean a spear? You put it through the wash.
Oh, God.
Oh,
That's it, I'm out.
that is bad, but funny.
It's terrible.
Have you watched? You haven't
No.
watched any of
No.
Jessica Jones.
No.
You've barely watched Daredevil.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I didn't watch Firefly either.
well, I know that.
The first season of Jessica Jones
I just
was
know-
really
Really good. I liked it.
why Netflix makes good television. kind of
Yeah,
thing.
exactly. And David Tennant was brilliant on that as Kilgrave,
Cool.
the Purple Man.
What?
You had,
What?
You,
No,
had
you're
me
just-
at, you had me at David Tennant.
I know you did. I know. You haven't watched Jessica Jones?
I haven't watched. it.
Shame on you.
Have you watched Good Omens yet?
Not yet.
I have.
Not yet.
Okay.
Have you watched
Yeah.
Bob the Builder?
It's different. Yeah, it's
good,
different.
but it gets a little long in the tooth. By the
Yeah.
end.
Yeah. I was going to say the same thing.
Yeah, Ruby hasn't watched it yet, and she's like, no, la la la.
They all die in the end.
Yeah, I mean, she's read the book, but
Yeah. The most interesting part I found is how much other Terry Pratchett stuff is on Amazon Prime.
oh
Like,
really?
Really?
other BBC type shows that I'm like, oh, they've made animated movies based on his books, like
Wow.
2
Wow,
other
okay.
series that are just
Oh yeah.
and a bunch of shorts that are related to that Discworld.
Oh really?
Mm-hmm.
That I'm like, this is the only way these people are going to know about this is because of this new show.
Oh yeah.
Because it's all BBC and whatever Sky and
Oh yeah, Sky. Yeah,
Sky Channel. Like they're not stuff
European.
that are going to be on Netflix.
Right.
What
yeah.
What was this on again?
Amazon Prime
Oh,
Video.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
If they have Terry Pratchett stuff, I probably have to get an Amazon Prime.
Mm-hmm.
It may just be they literally bought all of his back catalog.
They probably
because
did.
they bought
Hmm.
his rights to
They
show
do.
this movie.
Right.
They do have a lot of BBC stuff on Amazon Prime.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Right on. Speaking of animated stuff, they're talking about Netflix is doing a Jurassic World animated
Yeah.
series.
Was it Camp Cretaceous?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I'm a Jurassic World Park
Mm.
fanatic, and that looks.
Yeah.
What the hell are we doing?
Some people I saw talking about it mentioned the fact that you're like, oh, this is weird, but then if you really think about it, most of when we grew up in the 80s and early 90s, there were cartoons based on
Everything. Yeah. Toxic Avenger.
RoboCop,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rambo, stuff that you're
Mhm.
like, why was that made into it? So this isn't
Mhm.
really that far.
No, I know.
Yeah. Yeah, but they're also talking about bringing back the X-Men animated series.
Yeah.
So I'm
Only if
excited
they-
about that.
Only if they have the same art style.
And the
And
same
theme
theme song,
music.
yeah.
Yeah.
And in the same vein, I shared that video that's talking about the new X-Men Marvel Legends
I saw
being
that.
on the old style card stock.
Yes.
There's a bunch of
Oh.
that, and I think there's 12-inch size ones that are even.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I just saw the normal size.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sweet. And they're doing it right. They're doing the heroes on the red card and then the
That's
villains on the
awesome.
purple card. Yeah.
Why is purple an evil color?
Just is.
Purple's an evil color?
It started back in 1981 with Skeletor.
Ah.
Oh, he is
Skeletor.
pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, would we consider Prince evil then?
Yes.
No.
Well, if
Maybe?
No.
if
You're
too
more than that.
Have you
sexy,
listened to some of his songs?
if too sexy is evil, then-
Shush.
Medical
But also-
name Nikki.
but-
What? Sorry.
I just watched Purple Rain for the last time, so that's why it's on my brain.
Well, purple's also associated with regalness, so that's
Yeah.
where I
Okay,
would put
yes.
Prince.
Okay.
Yeah.
Regal.
Prince
evil.
is not evil. Stop it. Stop it.
I'll convince
Wow.
you
Bad.
before the day is out.
No, you.
No, you won't.
I don't even know if I
Because I'll be
associate-
whispering on his other shoulder. No.
Yeah.
He
Just
loves
make, I'll
Prince.
just turn him to my deaf side and you to
Hey,
my
There
good
you
side.
go.
Hey, listen. He can be evil, but you can still love him.
No, Prince is not evil.
Not evil. No, he spread love.
Not
That's
ever.
what he. That's what his motto.
Maybe
was.
love is the evil.
His mansion was.
Yeah, your girlfriend's gonna love to hear that.
Next time
Where
you
do
say,
you think
I
I
love
got
you. Yeah. I love
love
you,
you.
honey.
I know.
Oh God! Get away from me.
Anyway.
John Cena has been cast in the Suicide Squad movie.
I like your use of the word cast.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Wait, I thought he was in.
Also, the Fast and Furious
I was
2.
gonna say,
By the way,
Yeah,
both
both.
have happened in the same.
They
2
same
days?
week. Yeah,
Wow,
yeah.
okay.
Suicide Squad and Fast and Furious 9.
somebody said, Chris, don't call Prince evil.
Who said that?
Cat Flannery?
That would
Flanny?
be
What
my
was it?
fiance,
Yes.
who made me watch Purple Rain.
Well, good on you, Cat Flannery.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's
Oh, it says, I'm watching, Nate.
okay.
Ah,
I think your dad's watching too as well.
That's
He's in my watch party.
that's a threat and a promise.
So let's not talk about Trump. Then.
I know we don't get political on the podcast here.
Nope.
No, the other thing I like about the audience participation,
Mm-hmm.
we have 2 people that are on here
Uh-huh.
that are over there.
Hey, we do have some people sitting in the room with us watching right
Live
now.
studio Facebook audience.
That's not the first. Yay!
Out of 5 people, we only got 1 to clap. That sounds about right.
Yeah.
There's only 4 over there. Do your math.
I can't see.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
There you
Four.
go. Take your glasses
Nope,
off.
still 4.
Yeah. So I mean, John Cena's been kind of done with wrestling for a while and starting to do more movies. What are you shaking your head at?
Because because you said that, so when we post this later, when I have to put the John Cena song in now.
John Cena.
I'm still waiting on Psych movie part 2.
It's gonna happen.
I mean,
When?
Is he
I don't
in
know.
that?
Yeah, he was
I
on.
never ended up seeing that.
He was
He was in the series
Yep.
one time
Was
or
he?
twice.
he was the
He played
brother-in-law sort of.
No, her brother.
Yeah, her brother.
Well,
but
yeah,
I mean,
yeah, technically.
Yeah.
her-
Well, I mean, I'll be honest. I kind of saw him more to be in like the radio show hosting sort of thing because I mean, if he's in cinema, I mean, nobody will be able to see him.
it's pronounced cinema.
Oh, sorry.
Wow.
Let me rephrase that. Cinema.
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 So who do you think he's going to be in the Suicide Squad?
I don't know.
John Cena.
It just adds John.
John
I don't
Cena.
know- I
John
don't know who
Cena,
he
and
could-
his sister John Cena.
Clayface.
That'd be
Yeah.
interesting.
That
That would be
cool.
interesting. I mean, he did the voice of Ferdinand the Bull already. I mean,
Sandman.
no,
But the whole reason
That's-
Clayface is
that's
interesting
that's
is
Marvel,
he's
yeah.
It's
got
also
made
DC.
chameleons.
Is it?
Yeah.
Unless you're going to make him not John Cena the whole movie.
Yeah.
John Cena has his own supervillain persona.
Yeah, I don't
guess.
know. Yeah, I don't know who he
Because I
would-
think Idris Elba
is also in it too.
Really?
Yeah.
Bronze Tiger.
Yeah.
At this point,
Oh,
Yeah.
sweet.
Mhm.
So maybe he's playing Catman.
Catman.
Because that's the only
Awesome.
like kind of Suicide Squad member left. That's more like a traditional superhero looking guy.
Right. Yeah.
'Cause
True.
Everything else gets weird. after.
Yeah.
Would they bring Deathstroke in?
Ooh.
Maybe I feel like them. Well, they don't. They're not going to have.
Deathstroke in the Batman movie now.
They're not going to
No.
have.
Joe Manganiello.
That's too bad. He was awesome.
He did.
He
He
was
looked
really
good.
cool.
Plus, he plays D&D, so he's badass.
Really?
Mhm.
Yeah. We've gone over this
A
several
lot.
times.
Yeah. He turned his basement into the Gary Gygax dungeon.
Are you talking to the about the actor?
Yes.
Yeah,
Joe
I was
Manganiello.
thinking of
No.
Is there,
Oh yeah,
roll for initiative. He always
Deathstroke
rolls
totally
natural
plays
20s.
D&D. I mean, come on now.
He's a master,
And he crits
statistician.
every time. He rolls natty 20s all day long.
I rolled it too far to the left. Can somebody tell me what I rolled? No, really?
No,
yeah,
what? Sorry.
yeah.
Could you imagine like
Oh.
him and Batman playing D&D together, and every character Batman creates always has parents that are alive?
The DM is the Riddler. The Bard is Joker.
yeah.
The sorcerer has to be Penguin.
Okay.
Well, what do you think Penguin would play?
The monk would be Ra's al Ghul.
Right,
Yeah.
Penguin, I don't know.
He's
Yeah, I
either
don't know.
a sorcerer or a bard too, but he's very
He could be a wizard.
charismatic.
We're going really deep into that.
Yeah.
Hey, I like where it's going.
off
Off topic.
Yeah.
Godzilla versus Kong wrapped filming this week,
Awesome.
and it's supposedly gonna come out next year.
Wow.
Who's playing Kong?
Andy Serkis.
Probably.
John
For
Cena.
now and forever, Andy Serkis.
But the director, I believe, said in an interview that it's going to have a definitive end. Somebody's
Wow.
going to lose.
oh.
It's going to be the audience.
Is it the guy that directed this last Godzilla, or the guy that did the Kong Skull
Gareth
Island?
Edwards?
Skull Island.
I think it's the guy who did Kong Skull Island.
Oh, okay.
You mean
Because
you're talking about the one with the Loki or whatever?
Yeah.
Is that the
Or
one with Jack
Tom
Black in it?
No, that's a different King
That's
Kong.
the
Yeah.
Peter Jackson one.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
set in like it's just an actual remake.
Yeah.
What's the one with Jessica Lange?
that's also King Kong with Jeff Bridges.
Which I guess is a remake as well.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
also,
you're right, yeah.
Rick Baker is the one that created the Kong outfit, and he actually wore it in the movie a few times.
Really?
Rick Baker.
Really?
Yep.
All right.
I was listening to an interview with him a couple days ago.
Okay.
Yep.
Right on.
The studio, the director, they originally wanted the Kong remake to be more of a Neanderthal,
Uh-huh.
and so they gave him like storyboard pictures. They're like, go make the suits to look sort of like this.
Mhm.
He took it and he threw it out because he's a big fan of the original.
Right.
So he made the big monkey or
Right.
his version of the big monkey,
Right.
Big monkey.
and yeah, so
That's
that's
why-
that's what they went.
That's why Rick Baker's the man.
Yes, he is because he's like, you don't want to do this. He can tell the studio, you don't want to do this.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
How many people do you think actually did that and got fired at the spot?
What?
Probably fair amount.
Going against what the executives want
Yeah.
done? Oh, probably quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
It's got to
But-
have some serious balls to be able to do that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's Rick Baker.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Rick Baker. He can do it.
He can do it.
The dude's got the cred to.
Oh yeah.
Man's amazing. What, George? What?
Rick
You got
Baker?
You got a thought?
No, I just like how the subjects would go around the table and then it slowly pitters out.
Well, yeah, we just kind
and
of
then it's just like, yeah.
It's because I make
We're
a
just
joke
soaking it in.
and then everybody just like, anyway.
Yeah,
If only we had a moderator.
It's like you're soaking in it.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I'm the
really-
moderator.
Yeah.
I didn't wanna
Do we
chime
have any
in on that one.
comments? What's
Uh,
going on? Come on.
I am not on the Facebook thing.
You're the-
I have my own.
Do we have any comments
Do
about
we have
him?
any- about anything?
Not
Yeah,
really.
let's take
Yeah,
questions from the audience.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, anybody.
Huh? Not since
Yeah,
John
okay.
Cena.
Oh, this one.
there.
This one says, "Chris, put a bag on your head."
Oh wait a minute.
Oh.
My wife.
Same one as last time.
My wife would like to know: is the podcast being sponsored by Twinkies?
We'll get into that once we
Yeah.
start talking about Ghostbusters. But if Twinkies would like to sponsor us, we would be
That
more
would
than
be
happy
awesome.
to allow them
There you
to.
go.
Heck, if
It's not
Waste
it's not,
Management would like to sponsor us, I'd.
We're-
I'm sorry. What?
We're gonna
Low-
need a
low
bigger
bar.
bag.
Yeah,
Oh,
low,
low bar.
low,
Yeah,
low.
Low bar. Yeah, we'll start with.
You know the guy.
Now put the glasses on the outside.
Yes. Yes, do it. Do
that
it.
way I know who I'm looking at.
Okay.
You are now
Before.
you are now the unknown comic of like fast food.
Yep. Right.
Okay, he's gonna be working on that for a little bit once he gets it done.
This he looks like some sort of comic, like
Right.
like space character.
Right.
Exactly.
Paper bag man.
Paperback man.
Yeah,
That reminds me of like the
Bag
Adams.
of garbage.
It reminds me of like the Adam Sandler bit for Halloween. It's like, oh yeah, it's like, kids just random things. Like, I'm paper bag man. Give me some candy.
I'm a shame upon my family.
'Cause, yeah,
Not
you see
anymore.
this? You see this, Sharon? This is what he does all the time.
Yes.
You probably know this, but it's terrible, isn't he?
No, this is how you hide a shame from your family.
Nobody knows who I am.
Who are you?
I'm Paper Bag Man.
Say hello.
Hello.
Oh, damn.
Hello.
Goodbye.
Hello there.
Hello. I'm Paper Bag Man.
You sound like an.
Actually, paper's better than plastic because it's biodegradable.
And you can breathe in it.
I'm not dead yet.
Wow.
Anyway, about the
Breaking
Godzilla
us.
movie.
That's not right.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how to say this, but Kat had said Baghdad.
Bada.
Baghdad.
Baghdad?
Well, I want to say Baghdad.
I'm guessing autocorrect.
Maybe. Yeah, I'm
Oh
thinking.
yeah, bag man. Oh,
Baghdad.
Baghdad.
And she says it's actually a horror film.
Bag Mom.
Oh, Bag Man?
I don't know.
Oh.
Interesting.
I know nothing.
Senor
I
Bagman.
don't know, Boots. You're gonna have to investigate.
I
So
will
yeah,
for next
again,
episode.
anybody in the audience wants to leave a question on the Facebook page, please. You can leave a message. We will respond to them.
If you have any
Eventually.
questions,
It may be a little bit
Eventually.
delayed.
Yeah, there is a bit of a delay.
We're
as
ahead
far
of
as-
you guys by like 2 minutes. Well, a minute and a half.
So if you have a
Oh,
question,
yeah.
put it in 2 minutes before we start talking about it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Try to predict what we're going to talk about. All right. Well,
9/11.
that's
Whoa.
whoa.
Whoa. Is
You're
the
11?
date-
Really?
Sorry, 7/11.
Oh, 7-Eleven. Right.
I want a Slurpee.
Wow.
I could rant about 7-Eleven Slurpees and Ghostbusters real quick if we wanted to. They
Oh yeah.
decided to have a whole promotion for the 35th anniversary
Yeah.
in Canada and Canada only.
What?
Wow.
Really?
Yes. So they had cups, a slime flavor, like a slime colored Slurpee, and like big mugs that look like a Stay Puft. They were only available in Canada.
Well,
Are
that
they
sucks.
still available?
No,
in
and they
Canada?
ended it already. Like it was
Oh,
like
what
for
the-
like 3 weeks. It was really strange.
Before
And
the
it ends
thing?
it before
Yes, right
that?
before. And that's why.
So-
Wait a minute, you weren't even going to drag it out all summer long.
Yeah,
Like,
you should
Yeah.
have.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it kind of goes into a lot of like, Sony has managed most of the Ghostbuster stuff pretty poorly.
Okay.
Wow.
Oh.
It's taken a long time and other people to get involved to kind of like,
Mhm.
and it's like, yes, it is a fact that like more Slurpees are sold in Canada than like in the U.S. by like threefold.
Right.
Really?
Like, the
Mhm.
top 5 sold places that sell Slurpees, like volume, is in Canada, and like Detroit's the only one that's the U.S. one.
Wow.
Really?
But it's still, it's like it's a U.S. movie. Like, why would you skip out on
Well,
that?
because like 90% of the cast is Canadian.
yes,
aren't
but
they?
I don't. Yes, but I don't think that's necessarily it either.
Yeah.
because it's not like, yes, they hold it in high regard,
Okay.
but no more than in the United States.
Yeah, it takes place in New York.
You know.
Yeah, but
Right. Well, and
Well,
that's-
why did they have to do specifically Slurpees? Like they could have done like
because that's what 7-Eleven is known for.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
They're not going to do like
They could-
Ghostbusters flavored Java.
nachos.
No, but like they're not bringing out the Ecto Cooler this summer.
Yeah.
They're not bringing out the Twinkie, like the flavor. Like
Yeah.
Really?
stuff- It's like they kind of skipped all like the more obvious merchandising and just done like
The
the
one-
Funkos, and like they have a crossover with like Transformers and
That's fair.
and they're not even showing the movie. They announced today they're not showing it in theaters again until like Halloween time, which seems like
Wow.
kind of odd. Even
That is really
Yeah.
odd. I mean, yeah, okay, it's like ghosts and stuff, Halloweeny, but I mean, it came out in today,
Yeah, I
June
know.
8th.
yeah, like kind of you're
was
already
a summer
owning that
movie.
day. Like, why not just really own into it?
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
I guess
yeah.
you're not going to get as many people in the theaters, but
well,
I
even
think you
back
could.
when I saw it when it came out in 90 or 84.
Mhm.
Yeah, when it came out in 84, I was in Canada when I saw it.
oh,
Oh.
So it was, ironically, it's like so when I saw Ghostbusters for first time, it was in Canada, and they were handing out buttons and posters, and they had all sorts of stuff. And every store I went into had like Batman and Ghostbusters stuff. It was just it was like real. It was real. I can't think of the word, but it's like it was just it was everywhere.
Huh.
Well, to give you an idea, like why I say that
Oversaturated.
it's kind of been mishandled. When the 2016 movie came out,
Right.
the only kind of tie-in merchandising they did was with Whataburger, which is a Texas chain of like a Hardee's, but Texas only. That's it.
Really?
Yeah.
Nothing. And then the Twinkies and the Ecto Cooler didn't even come until like way later in the summer, and that's it. And we're talking a movie that just budget. That 2016 one was like a $130 million movie.
Wow.
So why would you not like spend money on Burger King or like someone obvious?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well,
Unless they were charging too much and they just didn't want to pay that much.
I think that some of it, like Sony, is really like
Could be.
wants to like hold on to everything so much they don't see the potential, even in the face of the money people are willing to throw at it.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
given all the struggles between Marvel and Sony and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, because like they got a death grip on Spider-Man.
Yeah. They're like, it's ours, you can't have it.
Isn't Sony also Fantastic Four also Sony or no?
No, that was Fox.
They're Fox. Okay.
Yeah, so Disney has all the Fox stuff, obviously because they bought Fox, but
Yeah.
even before they got the rights to Fox or whatever.
Disney also owns all like 7-Elevens and Tim Hortons and stuff like that. Too,
Probably
right?
eventually.
Yeah.
So George, I think it's interesting to hear you saying like you saw it in the theater and all the promotion, because for most of the people I know, Ghostbusters just always existed because we were all too young
Right.
for it not like we didn't know what
when
time,
it first
like,
came out, or
yeah, 'cause,
yeah,
I mean, I would have been 4.
I was
Yeah.
14.
Old.
We were one.
Yeah.
Old.
So it's like it's
the bag
always
on.
existed to me. I didn't see it in the theater, but it was on VHS.
Right.
It just
Right, yeah.
existed. I didn't know a time before it.
Ruby,
Yeah.
Ruby was 10.
God, I like when you look at me. It's like,
No, but I think
tell
it's
us of the Ghostbusters.
No, I just think it's because I don't know if that alone is enough to have like affected my fandom differently.
I don't know.
Because a lot of people that dress up like we do are the same age and under. There's not a lot. There's not as many people that are older because they just always believed Ghostbusters was kind of a real thing in their childhood.
Really? Yeah. Well,
that could go the same with me with Star Wars, because Star Wars has always been a
Yeah.
thing in my life.
Yeah,
and
same here too.
Yeah.
So like he told me all about like the first and second and third movies and blah blah blah. Now we're gonna watch the first and second and third movies and.
I watched the original Batman when it came out in the theaters. I watched Ghostbusters when it came out in theaters, but again in Windsor, Ontario, Canada. So it's like I remember, and when I came home, it was more like I said, like the advertising for it was much more. I don't know if the word's pervasive. It was a lot more in your face in Canada. When I came home, it was like there was hardly anything. Like you said, like the Ecto coolers and stuff like that really hadn't taken up, and you know what I'm saying. There wasn't a lot of stuff, but and Canada was really good as far as getting that stuff out. But I've seen a lot of movies that came out like in the theaters. I watched the original Muppet movie
Wow.
in theaters.
Nice.
I mean, I was 7.
Ruby's like, yes, me too.
Yeah. But do you see Ghostbusters as more of a really good comedy as opposed to like? To me, it's a weird, almost reality-ness to it.
Yeah, I mean, when I was a kid, I was 14, and at the time, I was pretty open to a lot of stuff. And I remember watching that movie, and it was like there's a lot of movies that came out at that time, and Ghostbusters is like right up at the top with them that really kind of just caught me.
Okay.
And it's like at the time, it's like it was like. I don't know. Yeah, like you said, it wasn't so much. I don't know if it was so much like a reality for me, but it was just like I was just so caught up in the whole thing that it actually got me into thinking about,
Sure.
all sorts of stuff like that. But I just remembered it was just like one of those movies that you just kind of like experience it for the first time, and the effects at the time were awesome.
Right.
I think that's a big reason it had grabbed onto kids of
Yeah.
a certain age because it felt real.
It felt
In
real, and it
every
was
way.
bigger. Not just to Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, but it was as big. You know what I'm saying? It was big on the screen, and it was colorful. It was pow in your face. It was like, and there wasn't a lot at the time. There wasn't a lot of movies like that coming out. Like there was like when did Gremlins come out?
Same weekend.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Okay. So and I watched that in the U.S. like a couple weeks later. But yeah, it was just weird. it was just because I'll talk to him all the time about stuff I saw when I was a kid, and he's like, "Tell us of the time when you had the government cheese, Father."
Tell us, Father. When did they
Yes.
invent the Wickelwecker?
Right now.
Was there a comment that you kind of reacted to something?
Well, yeah,
earlier?
we've got a couple comments.
Okay.
Somebody asked a question, sort of, and
Okay.
I don't know if I want to ask it.
Uh-oh.
Jeez.
I'll ask it.
Yes, you got to ask
Okay,
it.
it's right there. It's in the middle.
Boots, why are you gay? No, Ghostbusters has a new movie. Will it be better than the all-female one?
Ooh. The next Ghostbusters movie that's coming out,
Yeah.
that's being directed by
Jason
Reitman.
Reitman.
Jason
Ivan
Reitman.
Reitman, who directed the first two.
Yeah,
Yeah.
son.
Who is also fairly accomplished.
Oh yeah,
film
direct-
director
Oh yeah,
himself.
thank.
At this
He
point.
grew up on the set.
Well, yeah, he was
Yes.
on the
Yeah.
set.
He
Yeah.
is in
He was
Ghostbusters
7.
2.
Yeah, he was in 2. He
And-
did Thank You for Smoking.
Up in the Air.
Yep.
The Juno.
Juno. Yep.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you did Juno?
Yeah.
Yes.
You do Whip It too or no?
No,
Whippets.
No. That one
In
from
the
last
shade.
year that's like about a
Shape it up.
babysitter that I can't think of the name.
Oh.
Where it's like,
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
no.
Look up Jason Reitman.
Oh, I forgot.
Oracle. Do that.
Oracle.
I've been calling him Oracle the
I-
whole time.
I didn't even. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I wasn't-
like 2 months ago I started calling him
Really?
that. Yeah.
Yeah,
You're the
I've
guy in the
noticed that.
chair.
Yeah, I can't comment as if I'll think it will be better than the all-female Ghostbusters because I have not seen it.
Oh.
Just really wasn't intrigued
It's-
by it.
It's
I-
okay.
I
It's a
want-
weak
I heard
watch it.
I heard
No.
Hemsworth was hilarious in it.
Hemsworth was pretty much the only one who. I mean, it had a couple moments, but Hemsworth was basically the
Who am I looking
comedic
up?
element of that
Jason
movie.
Reitman.
But he was in a. I think the problem was he was in a different movie than the rest of the cast. Like that movie has is directed a little weak, is directed poorly. That's why it's
Yeah.
not good.
Right.
Yeah.
I think this one has potential to be better, not because it's going to have original cast or anything, but because Jason Reitman is already an accomplished
Film director.
film
Yeah.
director, and he went out of his way to go, I think I have an idea of the world I've been living around all my life.
And he
Yeah.
doesn't
Yeah.
he doesn't have like just Bridesmaids
Right.
on his
Right.
resume.
All right.
But
Like what'd you direct?
but he also said
Bridesmaids.
but he also said that he would never do it though.
for
like,
a long time.
for a long time,
That's
he's like,
why
I'll never do it.
I don't know if they threw money at him or if he just actually said, I want
I
to
need
like
to-
redeem.
I think Kevin Smith said that he said that he's like, I've got an idea. I have to do this.
Yep.
All right,
type thing.
so the movies that he's done, Thank You for Smoking, Juno, let's see, that's something else.
Whip It.
The Ornate Anatomy of Living Things, and Jennifer's Body, what?
Oh,
Really?
Jennifer's
Up in the Air.
He didn't direct Jennifer's Body though. I think he wrote it.
Co-wrote it.
yeah.
Yeah.
In the spring, he Up in the Air again.
I can't remember the movie from last year. It's something
Thank
like
you for-
Chloe or something.
It's
Thank you
not
for
in
being
a
a babysitter.
It's not in a list, so
Chloe?
I'm.
Tully, yes.
Ah, yes.
Chloe doesn't make it.
Oh, here we go. Up in the Air.
Yeah, you
Young
were-
Adult, Labor Day.
Oh.
Young adult.
Men, Women, and Children.
I wonder if
Tully,
he did
the
Up in
Front
the
Runner,
Air.
Ghostbusters 3.
I think
the
he-
Adventures
Upcoming.
of
Yeah.
Beagle and the What? The Adventures of Beagle and the Unimaginary Friend, to be announced.
Oh, it's
I
to
think
be
the key with it
announced.
being good is if he doesn't lean too hard into nostalgia
Right.
and
Yep.
goes, because that was the problem with some other movies, Star Wars
Right.
to some degree. Not a problem with, but like Stranger Things is a good example of how to do nostalgia right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh right, yeah.
Straddle that line just
Yep.
so that you're like, oh, we're referencing the past and certain other kinds of movies, but like it doesn't feel like we're like hitting.
Yeah,
you
it's
over the
that
head
you're
with
not
it.
being it's shoved in your face.
Like
yeah.
when she used the rotary phone, they didn't pan in on the fact that it had a dial. Like, or, you know.
But like the 2016 one said it was its own movie
You know,
and
that's a very good
everything,
point.
Mhm, right.
and then it has Slimer in it. It has Stay Puft.
Yep.
It does a whole thing with like the bad guy becomes a giant symbol, like ghost that looks like the no ghost thing, like
Oh,
stuff that
really?
you're like, well, this is clearly not its own movie.
Mhm.
anymore.
Right.
It's
But that was my point with the car. Like if they're gonna go updated, Get a minivan. Like do something different.
I will say, in defense, okay, I did not like the car in the movie.
Yeah.
It's an '84
Yep.
Cadillac hearse, but seeing one in person, which I have,
Yep.
and driven one in person,
Yeah.
What?
it is cool.
Yeah. No.
It feels a lot cooler in person as a movie car
Yeah.
than it did in that whole movie. It was
Yeah.
badly used in that whole
But
movie.
from an originality standpoint, if you're going to completely revamp, update, stay away from using the Cadillac hearse. Go with something completely different.
Yes, if it had been like a weird,
Like a Honda
mini
Civic.
Uber,
Well,
or
yeah,
If it was like a Hummer.
Yeah.
Well, no, like a minivan.
Or
I mean,
a minivan.
yeah,
Minivan would have been if they had used like the Chinese
that's what I'm saying.
restaurants like delivery van
Yeah.
in that movie. That would
Yeah.
have been funny and kind of appropriate.
Exactly.
Okay. I like it.
Yeah, they live above a Chinese.
Okay.
Oh,
restaurant
okay.
Is their base of operation?
Oh, okay.
Spoilers.
Sorry.
No, it's not totally about it. I probably
No, I don't have to watch the damn thing.
I probably wasn't going to watch
It was a
anyway.
Chinese restaurant the whole
that was
time.
it.
And in defense of the whole female cast, and that's why it's bad.
Mhm.
It is that could have been all males,
Right.
Mm.
and it would have just been as bad.
Yeah.
The movie tried way too hard to be funny instead of being real, and then
Yeah.
that's where the funny comes from.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I think there's a fine line of like just kind of how would you say it? Just kind of making like a parody film and actually making a reimagining or a sequel or something
Like
that.
Paul Feig did that Spy, like the year after, that has Melissa McCarthy and like Jason Statham.
Statham.
That's a good way to do riffing on another movie
Right.
type of movie genre.
Right.
To be funny because it was like half the cast was still taking it seriously, like it's a spy movie. Not, hey, every joke is coming at you.
Right. Makes sense.
I'm gonna say the Star Wars things. The Force Awakening. It was a really good kind of
Homage.
sequel,
Yes.
reimagining sort of thing. You know, it's throwing in new places and stuff like that. And then the one after that was just kind of like a dumpster fire.
So somebody online was asking, so do you think that the new Ghostbusters movie was a waste on the talent that they had there, or
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I mean, you had a great cast here. You had Kristen Wiig, Melissa McCarthy,
Chris Hemsworth.
Chris Hemsworth,
Kate McKinnon.
Kate McKinnon, and then
Jones?
Jones. What's her
Leslie
first name?
Jones.
Leslie Jones. Yes.
Yep.
So I mean, great cast. All funny women. Very
Well, see,
funny women.
and they used the same thing where they used mostly SNL actors.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
well, that
I mean,
was the basis of the original,
original,
Ghostbusters.
yeah.
Well, yeah,
too.
because Bill
Yep.
Murray was supposed to be
Yep.
John Belushi.
Yeah, it was supposed to be John Belushi
And Eddie Murphy was supposed to be Zedmore, but
Yeah.
Eddie Murphy told him, "This you great," something really not appropriate to say.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, the original idea was that they're supposed to be traveling around in time and space and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
It was
it's
more
like
futuristic.
Yeah, more
Yeah.
futuristic than it was whatever.
His Dan Aykroyd's like 40-page original treatment was like way crazier.
Did you actually read it?
No, I just watched and I caught up on the
Oh, okay.
commentary from the other day.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
from the movie, and it's like it had like the car was going to be possessed and like purple lights. They were going to be like futuristic, like janitors, like in,
Oh,
in the most
Wow.
like,
like
extreme
Men in
sense.
Black,
Yeah.
basically.
Like still with ghosts, but just more like they were like a group within. Yeah, kind of.
Kind of like, yeah.
I'm sorry, you said purple lights, and all I could think of was Prince was possessing the car.
No,
Well, and originally the car was going to be black, but then right before filming, they're like, we need it to be white so it can be better seen in the dark.
Right.
And we film
okay.
at night, and it's like, oh yeah, duh.
Mm.
But it kind of looks way better white.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does.
I think the main thing with like the 2016 one compared to the original is they scripted a lot more dialogue than you would have assumed in the original, but there was a lot of improv.
Yeah, I was going
in
to
the
say there
last
was a
one.
lot of improv.
And I think
in
that
it.
was they leaned too heavy into that, and
Yeah.
so that those actors and actresses had to
Oh.
be funny.
So you
be
think they were
funny.
trying to be forcing them to
Yes.
do what? Okay,
Why-
what they were.
there's like the Blu-ray has like tons of outtakes from every scene. You're like, did they not know what they were going to do that day at all?
Okay.
For every that's where I think it struggled because
Yeah.
all those people are funny in other stuff, like
Yeah.
tremendously funny.
Well, I mean, the original Ghostbusters really kind of tapped into their talent. You know what I'm saying? You know what they were really known for, and it's like, and it did when I was watching the one with the all women. I didn't have any problem with it. I thought it was okay. Like I had a couple of good spots, but it felt like they were forcing something that really wasn't there.
And the humor was subtle. It was everything nowadays is over the top in your face. And it makes it stupid. When watching the interaction between Bill Murray and the manager of the hotel, and this is something that I never saw because I only had the VHS.
Yeah.
It was only when I went to the theater that I could see it. But Venkman goes like this, and that'll be 4,000.
Yes.
Yeah, and I never saw that
Really?
because it was cut off.
Oh.
So when I saw it in the theater, I'm like, oh, that's because I never saw that.
I didn't get that either.
That movie Ghostbusters, the humor has gotten better as I have aged because I really started to go,
Oh, right. Yeah.
I get the Keymaster Gatekeeper thing. When I was 5-6 years old, I would have never.
Well, I didn't get that when I was watching when I was 14. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
Master, whatever.
And
that extra layers.
and then Ray's Dream.
Never understood that for years either.
No.
Yeah.
And now you watch, you're like, whoa. I raised my kids on this?
So,
Whoa. Oops. I grew up with this, and I'm okay.
To mention that, so the 4K version of the first two movies is coming out next week.
Oh, okay.
There is a whole scene that has been on the cutting room floor that's been mentioned for years about them investigating a ghost at Fort Deering, which is like a park in New York City. That apparently ties directly into his whole dream. And why?
Oh, really? Okay.
Really?
Like he meets that ghost in this thing, and they cut it because it was obviously very sexualized.
Yeah.
And they never wanted to release it, and people have hounded over years and years.
But they're going to put it in?
They're putting in like all the extra.
Nice.
Stuff.
Like in the actual movie or
No,
like
like it's like deleted.
Deleted
deleted
scene.
scenes? Okay. All right.
Along with Aykroyd and Murray playing the hobos?
That's already in previous ones.
Oh, that really?
It is, but
Okay.
only like a little small. But that whole sequence is
Okay.
And there's like tons of outtakes from like the when they come out and they say like we saw, we kicked some ass.
Yeah.
There's like 8 different versions of that tape.
Really?
Of them just coming up with things to
Sweet.
say
Oh, okay.
as they bust open the door. They just
That's
say, "Go ahead,"
awesome.
and that's where you're like, that was obviously the right choice.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they were smart enough to not go with like the first choice,
Yeah.
which probably was not as funny.
Right.
And
That's
We're
cool.
done here.
Yeah.
No, but that'd be cool to be able to actually see that stuff because like I catch little things, but I haven't caught the one park scene or anything like that.
No,
so.
it's become like weirdly legendary.
Really? Okay.
In commentary, Ivan Reitman like talks about it and says, "Oh, we're never going to talk." He basically says, "We're never going to release this. We're never going to talk about it." Because
Awesome.
I'm assuming it's somehow no one wants to like know this lady.
But he's-
like you don't want to know the personality or
Yeah.
the ghost that does what she does.
But,
Right.
but you're telling me. But he said that he says we're not going to tell you. You don't
yeah,
want to
it's,
know about
it's a
this.
whole longer dream sequence that gets really sounds like it might get just awkward.
Yeah,
or
but if
something.
somebody tells me I don't want to watch it,
I know exactly.
I want to watch it.
Right.
And then you watch it and you're like, why the hell did I watch that?
Basically.
Yeah.
Like
Was
I
it-
really don't. I'm surprised it even stayed in the script at all
Oh, okay.
for that
Well-
whole sequence because you're like, yeah, I guess they figured.
Wow.
It's I guess they kind of seem like it was always an adult movie to them, and the
Right.
kid part kind of happened by accident.
Right.
Yeah.
Of kids gravitating to it
Yeah.
Makes
because
sense.
they had a shiny, cute logo and cute ghosts.
Well, yeah.
They got all the the tools in the car with lights and
Yeah.
stuff.
Well, I mean, seriously, you look
And
at
a
the
giant-
ghost with the
giant
thing. It
marshmallow
looked like
man.
it was a kid's film, but yeah, you go in there, it's like yeah, like you're saying now. I didn't get Keymaster Gatekeeper and all that other stuff.
No, there's something else. The
It's almost-
Thorazine thing, like even that, like the 300 cc's of Thorazine that he uses. On
Oh.
that.
Oh, yeah.
You're
Yeah.
like, one, why do you have that much?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And
And that would kill a human being.
Yeah, I just put 3 just
and
for
then,
the hell of it.
them talking about the girls are really interested in Egon's big head. Actually, they're more interested in my epididymis.
Yes. That's
And,
another-
and then you're older, you find out what the epididymis is, and like,
Yeah.
oh my god, that's a brilliant line. And I'm not gonna say. You'll have to look it up for yourself.
I'm uncomfortable.
Good. You're uncomfortable. Oh my god.
Oh man.
But I mean, like, I was reading the other day Oh, I saw it on Twitter this morning. Someone talking about. Oh, I remember having watched it as a kid on a TV on my VHS, but it was recorded from TV.
Oh, okay.
So the part where he says like, "Yes, it's true. This man has no
dick."
The TV edit said this man has no Twinkie.
Really?
Which I was like, so someone who had to censor it watched the rest of the movie and said, well, they already mentioned Twinkies. We'll just cut that in. Like, all right.
Well, was it like a hard cut too, or was it just kind of? Was it?
I don't know. I never saw it on TV that I can remember. I always had a VHS copy of it. So I was like, I guess that's the only line in that movie I could think that they would have had to TV edit.
Yeah, I can't.
But I was kind of like, well, that's kind of a weird.
This man has no Twinkie.
Yep. Yeah, the rest of it was really kind of subtle. I can't think of anything else that would be. You know what I'm saying?
But even like, so I remember probably 15 years ago now, seeing it for the first time in a theater in Traverse City.
Okay.
I think were you with me?
We were all we
were all together.
Of us went, and the Horizon Cinema at the time showed it as like a Friday night thing.
Yep.
Oh, cool.
And it was the first time I'd seen the first one on the big screen because it was like DVD.
Oh yeah.
VHS. And there's a moment where they're in the hotel looking for Slimer. They shoot that lady with like the cleaning cart. And like blow it up and everything. And then she's like, what are you guys doing? And then they start talking about like splitting up.
What the hell are you doing?
And in the background, and only because it's an actual the right proportions and full screened, you can see her like trying to spritz out a fire with like
I remember that.
Never saw that before.
And
that's the funniest thing I'd ever seen.
Whatever they what they call it,
Pan-a-scan.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was like, oh my god, that's the level of funny in this movie that I'm learning now. New stuff.
It's exactly what I was saying earlier. Yeah,
that's great. Yeah, I don't think I've ever caught that before either. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
I gotta go rewatch this movie again.
And that's the thing is, you talk about Ghostbusters, you are not talking about just one movie. You're talking about both the movies.
Oh, of course.
Because they are both as brilliant and original as you can get.
Cartoon was good too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
the real Ghostbusters.
The real Ghostbusters.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I had a sad day when I was working at Family Video. There was like a young girl and a guy there renting movies, and they're like, no sequel is as good as the first one. And I was like, Ghostbusters 2? And they go, what's that?
Oh, jeez.
I'm like, you've never seen Ghostbusters? They're like, no, I never heard of it. I'm like, are you serious?
Did you
I wanted to, but I was at work, so I couldn't.
Get out of my store!
Right? They had never seen it. So I'm like, you need to turn around, go grab Ghostbusters off the shelf, and come up here and rent it and watch it.
Yep.
You cannot leave the store until you rent this movie.
Yeah. Oh, you see, this is PG. Let me put this on right now.
Yeah.
Grab some popcorn.
Sit.
There's chairs.
Sit, child. You shall be learned.
How old were they?
I had to been like 15, 16.
Oh.
So they're
How
like
long ago?
25,
6
26
years
now.
ago.
6 years. Okay.
That's crazy.
So yeah.
Because I mean, that's the one benefit our group has being. We dress up and mostly it always helps that we're entertaining kids.
Right.
And most kids still know.
Yeah.
They maybe don't know, like, they don't think we're playing Egon or Peter Venkman or someone specific, but we're just Ghostbusters.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I just assumed because it's like, it's just in this, like, zeitgeist at this point, even if it's not on TV as much. And the newer movie helped because brought it back, and I imagine this one.
Will bring it
really
back.
bring it back into people's minds.
Well, and even back when I first watched it, I like the fact that I go to like Comic Cons and stuff like that, and I'll see people wearing the outfits like you're wearing, but they don't have. I have never seen somebody with Venkman or anything like else. They have their own names on it.
Of course.
So
they're identifying. You know what I'm saying? They're putting themselves in the universe versus like dressing up as Darth Vader or whatever.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So our philosophy is like a cosplay community. Instead of trying to mimic like a stormtrooper, and you're like being that stormtrooper from that movie, we're treating it more like there's one line in Ghostbusters in the first one where he talks about like the franchise rights alone will make us more.
Yeah. Exactly.
We treat it like that we are ourselves who have opened a franchise of Ghostbusters.
Nice.
And bust ghosts, and so like when kids ask, "Do you believe in ghosts?" we can just say yes. Like, why wouldn't we?
Yeah,
That's right.
Brilliant.
So it kind of
Believe in ghosts. I caught one just the other day.
It's like I see some of the people that dress up like in the 501st, which is like the Star Wars cosplay group, and they are dressing like human characters And you're like,
Right.
man, sometimes I'm sure it impresses kids, but at the same time, you have to then pretend what's a cell phone or where are we?
Right,
What,
yeah,
what,
exactly.
What planet is this from to stay in character? But we can just still be humans.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
So there is a kind of nice, and it works really well when we're a lot of us. It's kind of like the stormtroopers.
Yeah.
When you have a bunch together, it looks more cool than like one Ghostbuster by himself.
Right.
I did notice the one guy in the black. He had I think a black shirt.
Yes.
Is he like the CEO of the Ghostbuster company or what?
No, he probably just. Sometimes we just wear shirts
Okay.
to be out of costume, kind of thing.
Okay.
Or like,
I mean, it still had the logo. He's still representing.
Yes.
But it didn't. It wasn't the classic beige jumper.
no, yeah, it's just more like it's kind of like okay, even people have done other color jumpsuits just for fun. Just
Well,
to,
they
like,
got in the sequel. They did have the blue gray
Yes.
suit. So I mean, that's still canon.
Well, that still kind of harkens back to the, a stormtrooper, you're wearing one thing. If you're a
Yeah.
Ghostbuster, you can personalize it. You
Yep.
can make it yours and still be
Yeah.
part of the
Stormtroopers
universe.
can personalize their own thing.
You can
That's true. I'm sorry.
drop the top and tie it around your waist with a coat on top. Yeah.
Stormtroopers can
No,
do it,
seriously.
too.
Yeah, Ray. I think Ray did it.
Yeah.
Didn't he?
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
I thought you were going to do a
Yep.
Pearl Jam joke or
No,
something.
no.
I have like for like winter time. I have like a rain jacket that looks like from the second movie where they go
Nice.
investigating down to the
Oh.
side. Just in case it's like snowing kind of thing.
Yep.
So it's like I'm gonna buy
That's
orange.
awesome.
I'm gonna buy an orange jacket from Old Navy that looks like the orange jacket that Bill Murray wears in the scene where he goes and talks to Dana. at the
Oh, yeah.
like,
Yeah.
fountain
Oh,
at
God,
Lincoln
yeah.
Center.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Because it's the easiest like casual
I
version
hope-
of the character.
I hope you feel much better. Maybe get some sun. Yeah.
I do have to say the whole costume stuff. I wonder if people like how police officers like different districts of police officers will have kind of different colors and like styles of the uniform, but all kind of the same. I wonder what like other people's representations of like different nations like Ghostbusters would look like, sort of thing.
There's a huge like the movie's really latched on in like England and like Ireland, like the UK.
Yeah.
Like they have a big contingent of like people that are franchise groups and cosplayers there. And they kind of stick to they're trying to stay movie accurate as possible.
really?
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
It's the patches where everybody makes
You're
their
right.
own like patches of like their franchise.
That
That's
makes
where people
sense.
get really kind of crazy. Or like females tend to do like the pink costume that's from Janine from the cartoon.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I've seen people do and the Egon wore a teal one in the cartoon. People
Okay.
like that.
Yeah,
'cause
yeah.
They like to do the blonde
Blonde
Egon.
hair. Yeah.
But everything tries. It's more like how people get elaborate with like the props because there's so many like really subtle props that you only see once in both of the first two movies.
Right.
I like the
Right.
colander.
Yes, that's a pretty easy one to do. 'cause
The
it's
colander. It's my favorite.
Yes.
Your sister says hi, by the way.
What-
Oh. My sister.
Does
Yeah.
she?
Oh,
Hi,
okay.
sister.
Hello.
Merp. Hey, Merp.
I didn't know I had a sister.
Yeah. So now, how did like you come about to do the chair? What like where did that happen?
So,
to do the Chairline Ghostbusters.
A mutual friend of ours, Jason Maltese.
Okay.
We went to Comic-Con, the Cherry Capricorn in Traverse City, and we saw a lot of like people dressed up in costume and everything. And I had done other cosplay for big events.
Right.
I lived in Florida, and on the way back from that one, which was like 3 years ago now, we said we should do Ghostbusters, and we're like, oh, and then we looked it up of how easy it was to get started. And
Really?
It's like, oh yeah, it was like not even $100, and you're like, start it. Like
Wow.
a flight suit and some elbow pads and a patch, and then basically we went the next year dressed up and like
Yeah, I remember seeing you guys
and-
there. Yep. Yep.
And by that point, Jason had built a full size pack
Oh wow.
that made lights and noise and everything, and we were not 10 feet from within the entrance where a kid ran up to us and wanted our autograph,
Wow.
and it was immediately like, oh,
Oh.
Yeah.
maybe this is cool.
Right.
This is not weird anymore.
No.
And then I took it to an extreme. Started seeing how many other people worldwide, but even within Michigan,
Right.
were dressing up and using it as a community outreach thing. And I just kept going, I can get it bigger. I can make it crazier.
Right.
And before we knew it, we were like convincing people to drive up with an Ecto to Comic-Con
cool.
the last 2 years.
Yeah, I remember. I saw your post about that. You got
And
to
I
drive
had,
it. That's awesome.
I had previously done a lot of stuff for like Alzheimer's walks and autism walks and just all kinds of that stuff where I could. But knowing I could like mesh the two things of like the fandom that I already by myself was just taking to an extreme
Right.
in my home and the outside world was enough to like make me go, this we got to keep doing this. And I think it's helped that like nobody's
We're good. Keep going.
said no
Uh-huh.
to anything. Like we've gotten the Alzheimer's Association to let us represent them in a parade.
Uh-huh. Oh, wow.
And the fact that we have in Michigan, two gentlemen, I think 3 gentlemen, created what's called the Great Lakes Ghostbusters Coalition,
Okay.
which represents about 14 franchises throughout the state and a little bit into like Indiana and Ohio.
That's cool.
So we're talking over 100 people that dress
Yeah.
up like I do.
Mhm.
It makes it real easy to go, yeah, I'll go stand out in front of something when there's 5 other people dressed up.
Right, yeah.
Because really, like if you don't have a kid, you feel kind of weird. But if you've got 5 other people and they've got a cool Ecto and they've got gear on, before you're like, oh, we're just like this kind of weird traveling pack of entertainers that just happen to all like the same kind of movie.
Right.
But if I can get 15 people, I say 15 people jumping up and down screaming, I want to kill,
Yeah,
then that's a movement.
that's a movie.
Woody Guthrie or Arlo Guthrie?
What?
It's Alice's Restaurant.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Kill. Sorry.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Yeah, he does. He gets lost.
I get. We're just talking about the movement thing.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
no,
Yes,
so we've
I
had I've had a lot of fun with it, like way more than I should. It's probably fiance is probably gone. What did I sign up for? Because I
Yeah.
was barely doing this when we started dating.
Well, I
And
mean,
now it's taken over my life a little too much.
I'm
No,
throwing
that's-
it out there. If you're doing like fantastic stuff, like helping programs or like representing stuff for like autism and all that other stuff, you're doing what you love while also doing stuff to help people and bring recognition to
Yeah,
things, and that's
nothing
super
wrong with that.
freaking cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's awesome.
There's nothing wrong with that. You be proud of yourself.
Yeah,
I'm
that's-
proud of you.
No, I
you.
think what you're doing, and not just with everything that you have. I think the fact that you're involving the community, you're doing things to better, to better other things. I think that's awesome.
It
It's
is.
very admirable.
Yeah, very much so. And I
So,
saw
yeah.
that. Was it Lisa's daughter won a?
Yes. So my friend Lisa Kerner's daughter, who helped us last year at the Petoskey 4th of July parade to promote Alzheimer's,
Okay.
which was kind of funny because people we were going by with like a big state puff and everything, and people were like, what does that have to do with Alzheimer's? Or what does Ghostbusters have to do with Alzheimer's? And I would yell out exactly, because now they were thinking about Alzheimer's.
Right.
So we won. We did what we were supposed
Right.
to.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
She helped last year, and then so they had their school had a essay contest of like, what charities do you like to like support, and tell us why. And so she wrote an essay about her experience with the Ghostbuster group and helping autism, or not autism, Alzheimer's. And she was one of the finalists. So we got $100 donated towards the Alzheimer's
Cool.
Association. And it's
Nice.
like, not only did I do good for an organization I already support, but I infected a little girl into liking Ghostbusters.
Right.
and wanting to help
Yeah.
the outside world, and seeing that like, oh, some weird thing that like some friend of mine, my mom's friend, does
Right.
is helping the world.
Yeah.
So
That's awesome, man.
which just boggles my mind, because like I said, watching that movie hundreds of times as a kid, I would have never thought Ghostbusters would have like
Yeah.
circled back around so much.
Right. Yeah.
And that's why I'm pretty like upbeat about like some of the new movie stuff potential, because it's like people were real cynical when like Star Wars all that happened, because even though the first one, like Force Awakens, is really good, it felt
And Rogue
nostalgic-y, and
Yeah.
Rogue One was
nostalgic-y.
really good.
Yeah.
And it kind of people
Yes,
like,
it was.
I don't want you're like digging too much into my childhood, and I as long as they just don't go too over the board.
Yeah.
Right. And then I think that since it's his kid, I think he'll.
I think he's smart enough.
I think
to know. Yes.
he'll be like, no, I want to do my own thing. If I do too much nostalgia, people will just think, oh, he's just trying to be like his dad. Whereas he's his own person. He's done, like you said, he's already an established director. I think he's probably got an idea, and he wouldn't do it if he didn't have an idea. So I have high hopes for it myself.
Although, if he did want to do like Evolution 2, I'd be cool with that.
Did he do Evolution?
Yeah.
Oh, his
Right.
dad did
Yeah.
Evolution. That's
Do you
right.
think
Yeah.
that was just like him trying
love
to tap
Evolution.
into like?
I think
I need
so.
a Ghostbuster
and it
movie.
and it worked.
It did.
was
I loved
beautiful.
Evolution.
I don't
David
remember it being
Duchovny
good.
and Orlando.
Jordan?
I'm gonna have to
Jones.
go back and
Jones.
watch that. I really don't remember it
Orlando.
being good.
Orlando
Really?
Bloom.
Jones, yeah,
Jones.
not Bloom.
Oh
I
no!
don't. There's not. I don't remember anything about it, which means it must have not been very good at the time to me because
Orlando
I
Jones
don't
and the
remember
alien ass.
anything good about it.
three times in the theater. It was beautiful. Just watching Duchovny and Jones,
Yeah.
and then you got Stifler.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
What Julianne Moore's
and
here.
Julianne
Yeah.
Moore. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yep.
It's
Dan
funny.
Aykroyd shows up at the end. Yeah,
It was funny watching Julianne Moore and David Duchovny in the first time I've ever seen them do comedy,
oh yeah,
and
Yeah, see, that
nailed
was
it.
the reason I think I don't remember it being
And
yeah.
holding a bar because you're like, these are not the kind of actors that need to be in this kind of
Yeah,
movie.
exactly.
and he finally got to make out with a redhead, which was awesome.
Finally.
Finally,
I'm sorry. I'm going to throw off your whole conversation here real quick. Does this thing open up?
It does.
Oh my gosh.
I have to double check this on first.
Yeah, he doesn't want you to get sucked in, Chris.
Well, I mean, you know.
Ooh, it lights up. And
Oh.
oh, wow. That's awesome.
And this turns on.
oh my
That's
god,
that one's probably my favorite out of all the gadgets.
$20.
Is
That was
one.
$20.
It's just so cool.
So this is gonna get real Ghostbustery podcasty.
Oh.
Deep, but
That's fine.
there's a whole story to this
Okay.
particular prop.
no, do it.
So it was already a prop in a different horror movie that's called like It Takes Them Alive or something. I can't remember the name of it. It's different looking, but it essentially was still a scanner made from a electric shoe polisher. So the prop department just said, well, we need some props, so we'll go to like a different company's prop department, and they just said, here, we got this, and they just modified the wings and added like the blinking lights. Egon is the only one that uses it in the first movie. So
Yeah.
Harold Ramis had like a whole, like he had come up with different ways to like use it, so it did the whole like it had like 3 buttons, and he knew how they all worked, so he could make it go like scan hotter, like and stuff like that.
Oh, really?
Like, he spent tons of time coming up with like acting with it.
That's
Nice.
awesome.
So when this particular prop came out last year, as like it's a Halloween company that makes it,
Okay.
everyone started buying them because they were only like $20, and
Yeah.
they were pretty good because the previous only one you could get was made by Mattel, and it was like $100, and then they became
Yeah,
aftermarket.
because wasn't it the original toy? Like, wasn't it
No,
a vintage toy?
It was meant to look like a real prop.
Oh, okay.
But they had only done a limited run, and it came in
Oh.
a nice box and everything. And
Yeah.
quickly, everybody grabbed them because they were sold at a time when not many people were paying attention about Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So they were only like 3,000 of them made. They got,
Mm.
so when these came out, people were buying them up and then modding them to look more real, to look metallic, and to basically look like metal instead of a shoe polish.
Right.
But then people started arguing that in like one of the encyclopedias or like the original novelization from the movie, that it mentions that all the stuff they made was based off real things they had lying around, which would have been a real shoe polisher,
Right.
which would have been made of plastic. So it really got into like people weeds of like, yeah, you're making it look less like a toy, but not like what it would be, which is an electric shoe polisher.
That's great.
Which was plastic in the first place.
That's awesome.
And that
Wow.
basically sums up forums about Ghostbusters on the internet.
Hey,
Like,
Beautiful.
that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, Star Wars forums. just-
oh, I bet. I
Yeah.
bet.
Oh, yeah.
I bet.
Just to touch on something here.
That's not a good idea.
I think we should go around and give our favorite Ghostbusters quote. This was prompted by your sister. She gave hers. She said, "He was a little fussy at first, but then I gave him some French bread pizza. Passed
Yes,
right
right
out."
that's a tough one.
Boots. You got a favorite quote?
I've always been a fan of why am I dripping with goo?
That's a good one. George, you got one?
I can't quote it though.
Oh, okay.
My favorite part was, and I don't know why, but it was like the scene when they're like looking at the old firehouse, and they're like, yeah, it's like the load bearing members and all that
Yes.
stuff. And then Ray slides down a pole. Does this pole work? This is great. I'm gonna go get my stuff right now. We'll take
We'll
it.
sleep over.
That's my favorite scene.
Yeah,
That's my
right.
favorite. Yeah.
That's awesome. You got one, Chris?
A quote, no, but freaking the song.
No, the song.
Yeah.
Something strange.
Yeah.
In neighborhood.
That's
Which
very much
you
of
mean-
the time too.
Yeah.
Having to have a theme song.
Oh, yeah.
is very much an 80s.
You mean Huey Lewis got a new drug?
Actually, I was just about to get into that.
You-
They
that's what
sound
you
a
mean.
lot alike.
Yeah, it's
Oh yeah, you're right.
yeah. No, that was it was a
Got
big.
new drug.
I
Yeah.
don't think I knew that.
Oh no.
Yeah. Wasn't there
I guess
like
I hear it, but I didn't.
there
know
was
if
a
it
there was
thing.
a thing. I don't know if
It was a big.
I don't know if
think,
he was suing Ray Parker, or if Ray Parker was suing him. Like, yeah,
I think it was. I think
there
Huey
was a
Lewis
lawsuit.
came out first,
right.
with "Got a New Drug,"
Mm.
and then the Ghostbusters came out. That was a little bit faster,
Mhm.
and so Huey got a little bent out of shape, and
Mhm.
may have sued.
Mhm.
I don't remember, but
Let's find
yeah,
out.
you can't.
Mm.
Not at this point. At this point, it's all null and void. No,
Right.
the song exists.
It's
Everybody
the
loves
Ghostbusters
it.
theme.
I know.
Nobody cares.
I think
about Got a New
KHQ
Drug.
KHQ plays it every Halloween at 7 p.m.
Somebody online had a quote,
What?
and I don't know where this is from. And tell me if this is actually from the movie. It says,
Okay.
"Would you like a cup of coffee?"
Yes, have some.
Yes,
Yes,
have
have
some.
some, yes.
Yes.
Oh,
have
That's when he's
some.
got the colander.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yes, have some.
Okay.
Yes,
I
have
forgot
some.
that one.
Yeah, mine like a lot of my my favorite quotes come from Ghostbusters 2 more so than the
See,
first
that
one.
is interesting to me.
But I think that's mostly because of Peter McNichol
Yeah.
because
He was a
he
genius.
was just great.
he's in a different movie than the rest of that cast.
Exactly. It's like oh, what part of New York are you from? The Upper West Side. That and like Viggy, you've been a bad monkey.
Yep, that's a good one.
And then when the ghost train goes by, and they were like, "Hey, did you happen to get the license plate out on that?" Sorry, I missed it. Winston Zedmore is probably my favorite Ghostbuster.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got a favorite quote? Hope I
it
didn't
is
steal
tough.
some.
It is.
This job is not worth $11,500 a year.
That is a good one. That one is. I did not get that until like years into like
Oh,
like,
yeah.
last 10 years.
and the fact that the repairs to the car cost like $4,800,
Right?
like that's
oh. Yes.
yeah.
So no, but so I
Brakes,
found
brake
out
pads.
recently because of the thing about how there was the explaining the backstory of like the car was supposed to be different.
Mm-hmm.
So supposedly the car was possessed, and that's why he says I found the car. It wasn't that he was like, it was that he found a possessed car that was supposed to talk.
Okay.
So that's why it had like an extra thing of like, oh, why would you get that kind of car?
Yeah.
That needs that much fixing. When
Yep.
you don't need that particular one, but apparently, which would explain
Yeah.
the whole ambulance and you probably died in
Okay.
it.
Yeah.
I found the car.
So
Needs
I think
brake pads.
That is a good
chassis.
That you got to know the exact.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh wow, that does add a lot.
I don't know why it was, but for some reason I really like the quote. And it's a quick line, and you know what I'm saying? It's like
Yeah.
when it's like it's like don't think of anything, and Ray says I couldn't help it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think my favorite is, what's the worst that can happen? We're all carrying an unlicensed nuclear accelerator. around.
yeah, exactly.
Mostly because that whole elevator scene when they turn.
Oh
it
yeah,
on,
and then they
that to me sums up Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
When they walk subtly move away.
to the other
If you
corner.
don't find that funny, you'll never like that movie.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Anything that's like that technical, like it's meant to be funny in a way, but also sounds awesome.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Like when the whole thing where he says like, we're please as a duly designated representative of the city and, or the county,
city and
county, state of
state
New York, please leave this dimension, or what is it? God.
Please this dimension forthwith and something. I
To
can't
the,
remember.
the most or to the next most convenient parallel dimension. It's like so much good jargon in that.
Yeah.
It's funny and weirdly real.
Yeah, I know. It's like
Well, that was Dan Aykroyd,
Oh,
wasn't
yeah.
it?
Yeah.
Every
Well,
one of
see,
those, like,
Dan
kinda-
Aykroyd, he knows his paranormal stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
he was heavy into it outside of Ghostbusters,
Right.
you know? And so that was just,
And there's not as much of it in the second movie, and I think that's why.
Yeah.
It doesn't
yeah.
work.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like there's a part where they go and tell him, like they're all covered in slime,
Right.
and they run into Peter and Dana at dinner, and at some point, like right as the cops are running in to arrest him, he says like he's screaming something about like emotional parakinetic slime, and it was the first time I'd ever noticed because I was watching it in closed caption. That it was like, oh, that's the perfect way to describe the mood slime. 'Cause
Yeah.
they never
Yeah.
used that phrase before at all.
Yeah.
He said, you know what I mean? Like, and it was like, oh, that's the stuff I like from the first one, where they
Right.
get
Yeah.
into that kind of weird, like,
Yeah.
the fact that proton pack
Okay.
just sounds cool.
Right.
It
Yeah.
has nothing to do with protons.
No.
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. Now that you mention it, yeah, there really isn't that
It's not even nearly as
technological
much
jargon
kind
as
Well,
goes
what-
in that movie. Yeah.
When they went to Ray's bookstore, I think there was some there. But
yes, a little bit.
but-
They're talking about, but even like the screenshot of explaining Vigo is a screenshot of a computer. It's
Right.
not them saying it, which
Yeah.
is the best part of like all the stuff about what Gozer is,
Yeah.
Right.
and who Zool is, and they're Samaritans, and you're like, who? What is that even? I would, as a kid, I just thought that sounds weird. I had no idea it was just some part of the Middle East. You know.
Was there a comment on the page, George, recently? Couple of comments.
No, just a couple of quotes.
Quotes.
Some of the more memorable ones that came out.
Yeah.
You know, like for example, there is no Dana, only Zool.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the other one, are you the keymaster?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm the gatekeeper. I am the gatekeeper.
What's yours? Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Listen, you
Smell
smell something.
Yep.
Good one.
All right. Who brought the dog?
Or that whole the whole long take of Louis Tully explaining the party and why he's having it.
Yeah.
And the price of shrimp.
Yeah.
Those
Yep.
people that come in that are his customers because he's an accountant
Yep.
throwing a party that he's going to write off is just brilliant.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it is
That's true.
all
Yep.
ad-libbed.
Now, did that end scene with all that melted marshmallow landing on what's his name? That has no dick.
Yeah.
Yeah, that for me was kind of anticlimactic. And they must have spent
was-
so much time and effort to make that scene happen.
Wasn't
did.
there an alternate scene to where the sailor's hat landed on him?
I think so.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think there is something, and yes, it did feel like, because it's like on a film set.
Yeah, it
cuts
felt-
back, and they talk about in the commentary that they tested it out on somebody else to see if it would even like hurt him, because it's like 20 gallons, like
Yeah, it's-
20,000 gallons worth of like shaving cream.
Yeah.
But it does feel anticlimactic.
I
'cause you're
love
like,
that
why is he
scene.
there?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And it's like it was just kind of like you know what I'm saying. It was like the one part of the film that I thought was just so blatantly incidental.
Because
or
you don't
whatever.
even know he's there until he's
Yeah,
there.
exactly. Yeah.
No,
He just
I
goes like, why wouldn't
I
you have left?
appreciate
And the
it.
only
Yeah.
one there,
I
Yeah.
like that.
all it went in one spot. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? It was like it was just
So-
so. Yeah. I don't know.
No, if you're gonna believe that they're using an unlicensed nuclear accelerator, then you have to believe in karma
Yeah, okay.
Do they?
and the fact that this guy's gonna get a bunch of karma dumped on him.
Do you need a license for a?
Probably.
Probably back
Not
then,
in-
anything nuclear related.
Oh, man.
Not in 1984. You do now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, something smells like burnt dog.
Oh.
Oh, Venkman. Oh,
So-
Venkman.
I'm so
so
sorry.
sorry. So sorry, Venkman.
Yep.
Do you smell? Yeah. Sorry.
He picks
and
up
see,
the
like,
cello.
as a kid,
boom, boom, boom,
a
boom,
lot of that
boom, boom, boom,
Realism
boom.
being scary too. Like for like as many times I watch it, the Zool at the beginning in the refrigerators
Yep.
freaked me out.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The taxi ghost
Mm-hmm.
when
Yeah.
all the ghosts break out freaked me out.
Yeah.
The whole part where Dana gets taken over by Zool is
Yeah.
super freaky.
Well, I mean,
as a kid.
when
Yeah.
in the chair scene,
with the chair,
Yeah.
super
that was
freaky as a
it was
kid.
the scariest
That
entry
was
scene
straight
I've
out
ever
of
seen before.
Poltergeist.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's got to be the same like movie crew.
No, yeah.
And I
gotta
think that's
be.
what made it good is because it didn't.
Yes.
They didn't try to comic that up. It was
No, that
this
was-
is happening.
that
And
was
this is happening to
legit.
people. This is what how you would react.
And so like to go into that, the 2016 had that as like the first 15 minutes where they have that haunting at that house. It feels like that kind of movie. It was taking itself seriously as a horror movie with
Yeah.
like the lady that's like the glowing lady that's in that house. That
Oh,
kills
right,
the,
yeah,
like,
yeah,
the,
yeah.
the tourist guy leading all the tourists around. That felt like a different movie in that 2016 one. If they had stuck with that tone,
yeah.
been a way better.
Well, the city scene was like it was circus. It was a circus. It was
Yeah.
just basically it's all clowns on parade type.
Well, I mean, I'm just going to throw this out there. Now that you put that into perspective, it kind of makes sense that the people who were the Ghostbusters actually were cracking jokes the entire time because you had to be a little weird to, deal with those stressless
Right,
situations.
yeah.
And-
People like
sure.
Ray were like he was like I mean his character was completely ingrained in that field and that that theology or whatever you'd call it or whatever.
Which probably was Dan Aykroyd
Which is
in
good.
real life.
Which made a lot of sense that when it was happening to him, he was like a kid in a candy store. It was like, oh my God, look at
Right,
Well,
yeah.
He took out a third mortgage on his house. Yeah. He was
That
raised.
joke.
He was
Yeah.
raised in that house.
That joke is another one I did not catch until
Yep.
I was easily in my 30s. Where I'm like, 19%. Yeah, that is like a couple $1 million.
Yeah.
Like that's crazy. I never
Wow.
caught that.
Yeah.
You're like, okay,
That's
that makes a lot more sense why the sequel is like, oh yeah, they are having to work birthday parties because they lost everything,
Everything.
including probably that the mortgage on the
Yep.
fire station.
Right.
Because everybody sued him.
Right.
Sophie just posted that Slimer terrified her as a child and still kind of does.
Good.
Good. Good. Just remember. So I don't. Slimer wasn't. Just,
Well, yeah, and Slimer didn't terrify me.
it was no. The thing is when it first came out, it was like, oh, and then when we started going like that towards the camera, and it was like then it like kicked in that this is gonna be funny.
Right.
But when it first came out, I was like, oh, what's gonna happen? You know what I'm saying? Because like at that age, it's like there wasn't a lot of there wasn't a lot of these type of movies and stuff like that. So it was kind of
No, because all the other supernatural things that happened up to that point, like Zool in the refrigerator, the eggs and everything.
Yeah,
everything
yeah.
else is actually scary.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you are expecting more scary with Slimer.
Oh, exactly.
You don't.
Well, and at the time, it's
slowly
like-
get silly.
Well, at the time, he wasn't Slimer. He was just some ghost in a
That's
movie.
true.
Yeah.
So you didn't know what it was going to happen and stuff like that. So
They
it's
didn't
like-
have the cartoon where they got sucked into the
Slimerverse.
the chamber where
Oh yeah,
they would
yes.
like every other episode they would
However
go
he talked to
inside.
me. Yeah.
Like, oh, where's Janine? Oh, she got sucked in. Oh, we'll have to go back in there and get her.
Yeah. But I don't know. I just thought it was because like there's a couple of scenes like that one that were kind of like a mixture of like what's going to happen and it's like and then it was just blatant like I don't know. I thought it was cool. But there's some people could come away saying that there's some really truly terrifying scenes.
Yeah.
Some people like what?
Library.
Yeah, the library
ghost.
ghost.
Yeah.
They apparently toned that down, the special effect of like when it turns to like scary mode.
Yeah.
They,
Oh, really?
They apparently had scaled it back. Just
Well,
enough.
here's the thing. I knew it was funny, but when I first saw it, it made the hairs on my neck stand up. Even though I knew it was like just a ghost going, whatever. But it was scary. You know what I'm saying? It was scary and funny at the same time.
Yeah.
And there's not a lot of movies that's done that ever. I mean, since.
I would have been scared of that, but the movie that I saw before I saw Ghostbusters was Second Sense, and I was still
Second Sense?
or
Sixth Sense?
Sixth
yeah,
Sense?
Sixth Sense.
Yeah.
Fifth
Yeah.
Sense, Seventh Sense. No, I
50
watched.
Cents.
Yeah, I watched that one
50
first.
Shades.
50 Shades of Senses.
That's a scare.
Oh my gosh.
You're
doing what
You
to
could
it?
use some Bill Murray. Oh my God, that movie would be way. Better.
Oh my gosh.
Would
that
you
was
like to see my special room?
Because Bill Murray's a
just
sexual
him showing
icon.
up as Bill Murray. Would have been hilarious.
I need you to sign this contract.
Actually,
Merp said, kids these days will never know the terror of even having to use those library cards to find stuff, let alone them flying due to ghosts.
yeah.
Very true.
They don't even know what they're called.
Nope.
You don't know what they're called.
Library cards?
Index card?
Index.
Dewey Decimal
Oh, I know what the
System.
Dewey Decimal System
Well,
is.
you didn't know what the cards are.
I just didn't know that the cards led to the Dewey Decimal.
know the Dewey
Did you two have any of the toys growing up?
I had.
Ben did.
'Cause I
I
wish
didn't
I-
have the toys.
I wish I had.
At
Ben
one
had the
time,
toys.
I had.
And Nate and Bartlett did too.
It was an additional line that they did with like the Wolfman and Dracula, Frankenstein, but it was through Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
And I had like the whole set.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it
no,
was killer.
that toy line is
Oh yeah.
still today holds up with like weird gimmicks.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you pull the lever on the back and like the face pops out
Yeah,
of
the
stomach.
mouth and the
Yeah.
Talking toilet. that's
Yeah.
gross.
Yeah.
I just remember as a kid, it's
All
like,
the proton packs that were like, they didn't look anything like the movie,
No.
but they were still really fun because they used
Because
like,
you twist it.
But
and
Yeah,
neutron
yeah.
lights and
as a kid, I used a vacuum hose and the vacuum thing, and I had it into my backpack with like a box taped to it. It's seriously that because back
That's
then
adorable.
we didn't have
No,
anything.
yeah, yeah.
would
You know,
shoot
I
out
made
the,
this out of cardboard. I made
shoot out the little foam barrels. I've actually got a story about that.
shoot
I
what?
don't, one of the backpacks.
Oh, there's like there's a blaster.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Would shoot out little foam barrels.
Oh yeah.
And I was playing with a friend, real young, like 5, and he shot it over like his porch. So I sat on the porch and I hopped down. When I got to the bottom, my knees buckled, my head slammed me up against the bricks, and I cut my head open. But it was all because of that stupid toy.
That explains so much.
I know, it really does.
Ah, brain trauma.
Yeah.
I mean, when you guys were growing up, did you have all those toys accessible to you?
Oh,
Yes and no.
I
For me,
mean-
it's a little weird. I had tons of toys,
Right.
but for some reason, because of moving around a lot, there was like no consistency when it came to like movie merchandising
Right.
toys.
Yeah.
And so there were other people I knew that had them all, and I was like, I want all these, but I have so many Ninja Turtles and G.I. Joe.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So I can't
Yeah.
get more.
Mm.
But I've noticed as doing this now,
Mhm.
how many other people I know amongst Ghostbuster friends
Yeah.
who either still have their original toys or have gone out of their way
To get
Oh,
it.
yeah.
to get them, and compared to like He-Man or Ninja Turtles,
Mm-hmm.
people reselling them are
Oh, yeah.
like, it's very easy to find.
yeah.
More so
It's
than the
almost
other
like
stuff. Yeah.
they've been, or they end up in like, you know, church sales and stuff. Like they have some
Oh,
reason
really?
Mm-hmm.
been passed down. I don't know if it's because they were built so playable
Mm-hmm.
that you could give a kid who's 7 now and you go, here, just play with this weird monster thing. They might not even know it's Ghostbusters, but it does stuff
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
compared to like G.I. Joe and like
Mhm.
a lot of the other stuff. He-Man
Yeah.
just stood there.
Mm.
Yeah.
And I think, so that's why I'm really kind of fascinated, like
Mm-hmm.
why those have stayed.
Thundercats
Yeah.
did have that thing you could put on the back of them and their eyes lit up.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah,
that was
yeah,
tight.
yeah.
Well, things like Star Wars, and I still have all my originals. The original
I think
Star
I had
Wars
my
films.
Ewok Village
But
somewhere.
Star Wars and He-Man, they were like pretty generic five
Yeah.
five
just
points
said,
of
yeah.
articulation.
Yeah, they could move, but
You know, but it's like, you know, but they came with like weapons and little guns that you
Can
know were
easily
gone
get
after
lost.
the first week.
or you dog chewed on them.
Same way with the A-Team toys.
I'm not going
Teen
to.
toys.
yeah.
I'm not going to brag or anything, but when
Oh.
I was a kid, we had like the toys that had like the 27 parts of articulation, so
McFarlane
you could
toys
like bend them
stuff.
around and all that
Mhm.
stuff.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
They had all the stuff and the things and the like the accessories and
It's because of people like us
yeah.
Yeah.
spending the money
yeah.
when we got into our
Yeah.
20s going, we
This-
want more toys.
This was your test audience
Yes.
for the toys. Thank them.
Thank you.
yeah, exactly.
It's like, I don't like this toy. Okay, let's make it different.
Yep.
Make it better.
Now
Yeah,
it's
make
just
it
a bunch
better.
of crap. Have you seen toys nowadays? Though?
They
Yeah.
actually kind of reverted back to what they were when I was a kid.
Yeah,
Some
they're
of them
just-
have.
Yeah, they've dipped hard in nostalgia.
Yeah,
yeah.
especially
Toy
Star
Wars.
Wars toys.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
You know, they're like real stiff now, like they used to be, and stuff like that.
Yeah, even WWE has gone back to the old Mattel style
Yeah.
90s wrestling
Oh
figures.
wow.
You will
Yeah.
appreciate this. The rumor yesterday, they didn't announce it yet because there's a big Ghostbusters fan fest happening in LA like right now.
Oh wow.
That is held by Wizard and like Dan Aykroyd and
Oh,
a bunch
wow.
of people are there. The rumor is that Mattel is going to make Ghostbuster WWE themed figures,
That's awesome.
Really?
but using like The Rock, Shawn Michaels.
Right, yeah, the legends.
I can't remember what the other two. I think John Cena's
Probably
one of them.
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
No, it's
Ooh.
I can't remember. There's
Wow.
4 of them.
Undertaker, I would hope.
That
Yeah,
was,
that
I mean,
would see
that's
no, but
that-
there's,
that-
there's
that's-
artwork too. But it's like it looks like somebody like a concept artist from the '90s. Like it's really bad art. And it's like I don't think this is real, but if it is,
Ultimate Warrior?
no, it wasn't anybody.
You just
It was,
keep
it was
throwing-
'90s era. That was what was weird.
Oh,
okay.
Was it the Iron Sheik?
Razor Ramon?
nice pull, by the way.
But I think they're doing.
Yeah.
If it's plausible that it would happen because they did a mashup of Ninja Turtles and
Okay.
Ghostbusters like 2 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which was weird seeing like Raphael have a mustache like Winston Zedmore. Like, like ooh, maybe that wasn't a good idea.
Wow.
Were the Ninja Turtles dressed up like them, or were
Yes.
they? Okay.
But they weren't. That was the part that was kind of like, wait, this makes no sense. They weren't dressed up as, they weren't the turtles being Ghostbusters. They were the turtles / Egon and Winston. So they were
Oh.
like, if Winston Zedmore had became a Ninja Turtle
It
Oh,
would have been
Wow.
and then became a Ghostbuster, it was like a little too meta.
Wow.
Wow.
Yes,
That's crazy.
And so some of them looked good,
Mhm.
but like, yeah, seeing a little mustache on Raphael, or not even like a full, like to the little side mustache thing,
Right.
was creepy.
Wow.
Okay, I got to look up the rock thing because it's gonna bother me.
Is there
The-
comment, George?
No.
No.
Not that
I
Oh.
need to look up the picture
But
of these.
you-
I'd just like to say that I had Chinese food tonight
Oh yeah.
because, as you can see, this fine feast before you is the last of the petty cash.
Oh, you're
That's
right.
why we
It
had
was- it
Chinese
was
food.
Stone Cold
Stone
Steve
Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah.
Okay.
And John Cena, The Rock, and Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
See,
Wow.
does that not look like it was drawn by somebody in the '90s?
Yeah, that's terrible. That looks like fan art.
Yes. Yeah. It's
Oh,
real.
that is.
That it can't.
There is a
but I
comment
could,
now.
I could see them doing it because it makes sense because Mattel owns, does the WWE stuff,
Yeah, yeah.
and they've really leaned into that.
Oh yeah, they've leaned into it big time. Is there? There's said there's a comment now.
Holy
George?
crap! While he's doing that,
That's cool.
I just saw
Wow.
somebody's
is.
trying to sell a 4-pack of them for like $200.
Wow.
Of the Ninja Turtles ones.
Of the Ninja
yeah,
Turtle
they're-
Ghostbusters
I wanted to
thing.
get one. Then I saw it. I'm like, nope.
Nope.
I don't need
Dad.
semi-ethnic Raphael.
No.
It just
Wow.
feels wrong.
Is he black?
No, it's
It
not.
looks like
Let me-
Steven
I'll
Seagal.
I'll show you
It looks like
in a
yeah,
second.
it's a
The second
weird-
one, second one from the left looks like your character from D&D.
Like if it was
Me?
just because
Yeah, a little
since
bit.
those toys came out, they had a comic run of Ninja Turtles meet the
Meeting.
Ghostbuster.
Yeah, they've
and it was
had.
perfect.
Well, they did Turtles and Batman too.
Yeah, see, he's got the
Let's
little
see.
mustache.
yeah, you can hand it to
It's
him.
so.
Was there a
wrong.
comment, George? You said there
Jesse
was a
Smith
comment.
just
Oh,
says hello,
jeez.
gentlemen.
Yeah.
Hello,
Oh
Jesse.
my God!
Good to see, or good to see that you're watching.
Good to
And that's one of those like no one's told them. No.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
Oh my God! That,
Everybody just chill.
wow.
It's weird looking.
That's. I don't know. I can kind of get down with that.
Now,
I'm like almost.
Of course you can.
I would
I'm
be
almost okay.
I'd be more okay if it was like one of like how they had the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Power Rangers crossover where they just kind of met in the universe.
That's cool.
Why
But
is
it-
that? That's cool.
It was weird, but
Don't
it
they have a
was-
new Batman meets the Turtles?
They're,
thing?
they,
Yeah.
they've done Batman.
It's now it's a comic and now a cartoon.
Yeah,
Okay.
they've done a There was
Well, I
like
saw the
two. Yeah,
cartoon
they did the
advertised.
cartoon movie recently. Yeah, there was like a 2-parter comics.
Yeah.
It was Batman.
there's always a
meets
comic.
Turtles 1 and then 2.
Well, they started
know.
having Batman meets everybody.
Well, they did Thundercats in the He-Man crossover.
Yeah.
What was the name of the Batman End? Dead
Batman
End?
End?
And a dead end.
Dead End,
Yeah,
yeah.
that was.
Well, I
cool.
mean, with the '90s, they had because I have the comics. They have Batman vs Predator, and then a Batman
yeah,
vs
yeah.
Predator vs Alien.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, they had Batman,
versus
Spawn,
RoboCop.
Batman, Spider-Man. Yeah, they've
had a RoboCop
you know,
Yeah.
Thor and Hulk or Thor and Wonder Woman or
So
whatever.
who would
You
win
know.
in a battle, Batman or RoboCop?
Batman.
Batman.
I had a comic once that was Godzilla versus Devil Sore, which is a Marvel comic.
Yeah.
Devil Sword.
Devil
He was a
Sword.
big giant.
It was
Giant
it was
T-Rex.
it was a caveman riding a dinosaur.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
the
Devil
that's
Dinosaur.
The same, like it's the. I think that's related to that like world. It's like Savage World.
Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, that was like one of the first 3 comic books I ever owned. It was
Kazar
weird.
or whatever.
Kazar.
Kazar.
Yeah.
Yeah, Devil
But
Dinosaur.
Yeah.
Godzilla's like
It was like a giant T-Rex.
Yeah,
That there's no verse in that.
no, not really, but it was an interesting comic.
Right on.
It was my first voyeur into Godzilla.
Oh, was it?
After the the series.
Voyeur.
Voyeur. I don't know what am I saying.
I like
Godzilla
it.
translated.
Yeah,
My first foyer.
Godzilla.
My
frickin-
vestibule right here.
You mean vestibule?
Well, foyer is a vestibule.
Foyer.
It's an entrance.
Yeah, just says Batman versus
I thought
Predator.
we'd come up with new
Yeah.
words here. I'm coming up with new words.
Wow.
You are.
Have you
It's
seen that
beautiful.
Chris Hemsworth says that he's ready for a Thor versus Superman?
Oh no, I didn't see that.
That's not going to
that
happen.
Seems kind of obvious.
I mean,
Yeah.
Bat and the Sun did it with the superhero beatdown,
Yeah.
Those
but
two?
Thor and Superman?
Oh, okay.
I think
Yeah.
so.
They did a Thor and Superman.
I was
one.
watching a guy who makes CG like once a year. He makes a CG between Hulk and Superman,
Ooh.
and it started out with like Superman from like long time ago,
Uh-huh.
and then Christopher Reeve's Superman versus like the Ang Lee Hulk,
Uh-huh.
and then now it's up to Ruffalo Hulk
Oh.
Oh, wow.
and
Nice.
Henry Cavill.
Okay.
So, and I thought, you know what I'm saying? So it's like the same fight
Nice.
once a year, but it's
different incarnations?
Yeah, exactly. It's
No
fun.
love for Edward Norton.
No.
Oh come on.
No, actually, no. He was the second one.
Edward Norton versus Brandon Routh.
Norton.
No,
That would
be
be
Come
funny.
on. That's
well, I
it.
mean, it's the second incarnation of both.
That's what I'm talking
I'm sorry,
about.
just-
Well, no, sorry.
Yeah,
technically, third for Superman because George Reeves, Christopher Reeve.
And third for Hulk.
You're right.
Yep.
Do you think that would have been a different Hulk movie if they had Ruffalo cast from the beginning?
Yes.
No.
And Edward Norton
No.
apparently was like heavily involved in the making of like rewriting that Incredible Hulk script.
Yes.
Mhm.
Oh.
Do you think it would have been a different movie?
Different movie?
Like
the tones,
Yes. Yes.
Like from that movie or from like
If
the
Ruffalo
Ang
had been
Lee?
cast
No,
from
no.
the beginning,
from
would it have been a different? Because they obviously went that way with him in Avengers,
right.
instead of going the same way that
Right, yeah,
Edward
yeah,
Norton
yeah.
was going.
But they, yeah, it definitely would have been a different movie. I think
I like the Ruffalo version.
Ruffalo was
Oh, yeah.
good, but they do reference the Ed Norton movie
Norton
with
Here's the
Ruffalo, where he talks about being alone with he had a gun in his mouth or whatever.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
was a deleted scene
Yep.
from Incredible
Incredible
Hulk,
Hulk.
which they also have said made canon the teacher for like the Quiz Bowl team or whatever in Spider-Man Homecoming.
Yeah.
He was a character. He was played a character in a deleted scene from Incredible Hulk.
Oh, Martin Starr.
Yeah.
Yes.
Kevin Feige said that is the exact same character. He made that canon.
Oh, interesting.
Yep.
See, that's why I like the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm okay if they do like Dan Aykroyd even announced they might do like an animated prequel
Oh.
of Ghostbusters.
Oh, really?
And I was like,
Hmm.
yeah, I'm okay with that because there's enough interesting stuff there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because I feel like Vakeman
Yeah.
probably one that's got like some story where he actually was like not cynical
Right.
and a con artist guy and he
Right.
got burned somehow in
Right.
college.
He probably
Yeah, that makes sense.
had a girlfriend that died.
That's
Oh,
depressing.
That's what
Like,
that's what it's
yeah.
got to go. You can't.
Wow.
Not a dead
and then
mom
he
and-
probably spent some time trying to contact her.
Oh,
And then-
Could have been a
Mm.
could
Like
have
And then
he believed
couldn't-
in ghosts because he wanted so badly to connect with someone.
And then he
That
couldn't.
is good.
I
And
like
he
that.
couldn't.
I like that.
So that's why he became cynical and started shocking the dude in the beginning of the movie.
That could be. Because I always felt like it was more
Wow.
about like he just tied to Ray and Egon because he could tell they were real scientists who
Yep.
he could con.
Yep.
But I like that because he
Mhm.
feels it does feel like he wants to believe in
Mhm.
that world still.
I want to.
Well,
believe.
it just seemed like he was a little too like, you know what I'm saying? As soon as it started happening to him, he was like
Yeah, I'm
okay,
okay
with,
with
it.
it, yeah.
Yeah, it's like okay,
He
I get
must
it.
have
I love
seen a
this.
little more too.
Yeah.
This is great. I'm on board.
So if that
Yeah.
I mean, they've been saying
That'd be cool.
That would be
everything
cool.
about
I would-
everything.
I
so-
would. Yeah.
But I would
exactly.
totally,
Yeah.
and that's why I like the idea of some of these like Disney Plus Marvel
Mhm.
because
Yeah.
they could go before or after,
Yeah.
and they know how to connect. To
Well,
it. they pay attention.
I
Yeah.
think that Loki series is probably going to deal with the
Endgame
rumors.
split off.
Yeah.
Yes, which is totally okay because you can have a lot of fun.
Oh yeah. That'd be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, I mean, that's pretty much all I got. You guys got anything else you want to talk about with Ghostbusters?
I'm distracted by the shrubbery on the top there.
Yeah, no, I think it's, I don't know. It's like, I'm just looking at the stuff that he's brought today and thinking of like, where was this when I was 14?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's when I started investigating what to even start with. It was really clear very quickly, and this is right before like the Halloween company got involved, the licensing got ramped up a little more because of the newer movie, that the last 30 years, or maybe 25 plus, the fandom was small and had to do all of the work.
Right, yeah.
Because they were not like Lucasfilms that kept prop makers like plans. Most of the stuff got destroyed during filming.
Oh, yeah.
No, so all like the proton pack was just decades of people like investigating.
Yeah.
Either
Screenshots.
the
of
whatever
movie.
ones are left, screenshots,
Yeah.
or like just guessing.
Yeah.
And that's what I think is maybe the most interesting is how much the community has had to like prop up because
Yeah.
Sony just said, "What movie? What are you guys talking about?" Because nobody wants to make a new one, so we don't care.
Yeah,
Wow.
and it comes down to, if you look at the proton packs, I've seen different proton packs. They all have their own uniqueness to it, but they're all you know what I'm saying? You see it, you know what it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like this, and it again goes back to the customization. It's like, well, for example, like you go to the Halloween stores and stuff like that. Whenever if you find a Ghostbusters thing, like the last I want a bazillion times I've seen them. If they have a Ghostbusters uniform, it's always Venkman. It's never one of the other guys. It's you know what I'm saying.
Spengler,
It's never
Stantz,
Zedmore.
or Zedmore.
Yeah, it's always Venkman.
It's
you know what I'm saying.
that
It's-
merchandising thing of like we need to slap
Yeah.
like the name recognize, like we're not thinking about it in terms of like we want people to buy it and own it. We just want them to buy it for 2 days.
Well, yeah, and they don't make them to last either. I mean,
No.
they you know, it's like, you know, to have something like that where it's like you can hang it up and then when something comes up, you just throw it on. It's not, you're not worried that it's going to be whatever. You know what I'm saying?
And that
It's like,
goes back to the all the props being household materials. You know,
Yes.
they didn't have suits. These were overalls, coveralls. You know, so they're gonna last.
So the first movie they were flight suits by a company that stopped existing. So most people buy like 2 other companies that make military flight suits. One that's really expensive that's meant to be like you can withstand certain temperatures and G-forces, and then like mine is like $50.
Wow.
So it's basically fancy overalls.
yeah, but
Right.
still, it's not like it's made of like, you know, like material.
it's-
that
yes.
it's made
Teflon.
of something that'll last.
Yeah.
Right.
It's
it's not like
made to last.
You don't.
yeah.
You're not going to try to set it on fire. I'm
No.
assuming. But
No.
but yeah. So it's cool. It's like
Yeah,
it's
it's
cool
awesome.
to know that this exists. It's like it's kind of like it's almost satisfying.
Very
You know, it's
satisfying.
like it's like like I'm at a point now where I'm really not in the kind of shape.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? To play a Ghostbuster, I could play maybe the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, but I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? It's
Right.
Like,
Oh, come
it's
on.
good. It's kind of like it's good to know. Shut up. He pet me on. I was like, okay, old man, just shut up.
You're okay.
Sit back down.
look at my
Take your
life.
Geritol.
You could be the
Geritol.
Well, what I would say
Did
to
you bring
people
his
that
Metamucil?
are listening
Yeah.
or watching, if you just dip your toe in any sort of cosplay, even if it's simple, you will get hooked.
Oh yeah.
You go, I want to do more, even within the confines of like I want to build more of that same thing, or like the 501st people are impressive to me because not only do they make very accurate things that take them a while to get approved and everything, but all those people have like 4 or 5 costumes that are interchangeable into who they are. Like I could just buy the black jumpsuit. I've now got Ghostbusters 1 and 2.
Oh,
Right.
Cool.
But I saw there was like somebody newer at Cherry Capital this year that was for the 501st. She was a Mon Mothma, and then
Ooh.
the second day she was a Sith lady. And I was like, you could tell it's the same woman utilizing her proportions correctly and
Yeah.
yet being two unique characters.
Wow.
Well, I
It was
dressed
like
up.
that's just cool.
I dressed up as a sand trooper 2 years ago.
No, not a sand trooper.
Or,
Sand
I'm sorry,
person.
sand person. A
Tusken
Tusken
Raider.
Oh,
Raider.
yeah, Tusken Raider.
Oh.
Yes.
I dressed up as a Tusken Raider. I made the helmet,
Yeah.
and the rest of it was just whatever. But I thought it was like this is kind of like one of those costumes you can kind of fine tune or whatever. Because I thought for the most part, like the stormtroopers, you're a stormtrooper, you're white, whatever. But he reminded me that basically there's a lot of people like in the 501st or whatever that will wear a stormtrooper outfit, but they'll what I'm saying, they'll customize it with paint and all that stuff. There's one guy that had a helmet there that was like Michigan State University.
Yep.
There's a lot of like the unique
Yeah.
troopers.
So
And I
it's
think
a-
it's like they get bored with the regular one. They're like, I want to
Yep.
take it a next step because I
Right.
just love doing it.
But I'm thinking that might have something to do with like for example, like people who Ghostbuster cosplay and stuff like that, who are able, who like they kind of stuck, like you said, they have like a very strict criteria that they stick to as far as the costumes. They can't be, they can't be made by a certain company. They have to look a certain way. They have to be screen accurate and all that stuff, which is fine. But they still find room to be able to customize them to make it more part of them than it is the other way around. So, and I think that has a lot to do with like Ghostbusters, and I think there was another group that when they get costumes, they're like I said before, it's more like stepping into it versus, or no, they're more like
The Trekkers.
no, Trekkies are notorious. I mean, Trekkies.
You said
the
Trekkie.
Trekker's pretty
I
scattered.
am Trekkie. I'm not a Trekker.
Cosplay group and stuff like
I
that.
didn't
Like,
want to
Yeah.
step on any
Yeah,
toes.
being a Trekkie is kind of weird. It's like really strict. You have to
Yeah.
either you're either dressing in the original or the next gen, to be
Voyager.
recognizable, but you
Deep
can
Space.
still be recognizable.
Voyager.
Like I said, it's like even if that was a little different
Discovery.
colors, I could tell you that's a proton
Yes.
pack.
I just want to bring it up because I think it's people, if they want to celebrate something they like, it's fun to try, even if it's like costume like and just a T-shirt and a cape
Yeah.
thing. Go to a Comic-Con. There's so many of them now,
Yeah,
and just celebrate it.
it's amazing what what cosplayers come up with, like
Yes.
just the combinations of things. Touching on a Star Trek thing, when I went to the Motor City Comic Con in Novi, there was I thought they were the fairy godmothers from Sleeping Beauty from behind, but when they turned around, they were wearing Star Trek T-shirts.
Oh, jeez.
I'm like, that is amazing.
Yeah.
But like, just a lot of the like crossovers people that come up with.
And then the stormtroopers with the Muppet.
The Muppets, yes.
The
Yes.
Muppet heads.
Some of the
Gosh.
first guys were
That
there
was-
this year. Had busted that out for.
That
Was
was
that them?
beautiful.
Yes,
That was the
that's the same.
501st
Yeah,
guys?
because they're just
Oh.
like you. Basically, when you're in some of those kind of costumes where you're just in a helmet,
Yeah.
you can only stand around and kind of
Yeah.
interact with people in a very limiting way.
Yeah.
So they just go. Like I remember 4 years ago, like a chunk of the 501st people have, and the Rebel Legion is the good guy part of that.
Right.
group.
Yeah.
That's a
They
standpoint.
had a whole chunk of them to just switch to like Spaceballs
Mm.
costumes.
Oh yeah.
Like the guy that had a stormtrooper also had a Spaceballs the
helmet.
thing,
Oh my
and
gosh.
it was like
Dark helmet.
duh.
No,
No,
the
he had
the round space
the
ball.
actual
Oh,
space
okay.
balls.
Oh,
I
yeah,
guess they're
yeah.
called.
Yeah, they're space ball.
Wow.
And it's just like, well, yeah, because you get.
Yeah.
You're only going to be so interesting for so long is one thing. So I totally get it.
Yeah.
But I think it's at this point, if you don't try dressing up once just for fun and seeing if you enjoy it.
See, we would for Halloween for many
Oh
years.
yes, yeah, you guys.
But it's when the people, and when we go to competitions, but it's when the people that had store-bought costumes or the stupidest, like they wore white plastic bags with like paper plates and they were white trash, and those costumes won.
Ooh, yeah. See that stings. I could
Yeah.
like,
And so
that's-
it's like, you know what? No.
That's why you just need to dress up for a con.
I know.
To where it's going to be appreciated.
I know.
Because you're going to get like you said, first time
Yeah.
you dressed up, not even 10 minutes in the door, people are wanting to take autograph,
Yeah.
take pictures
Yep.
with you. I chased down that Swamp Thing guy
Yep.
ooh,
at-
yeah, that kind of stuff you
at
definitely appreciate.
at the Motor
And
City
the Spawn.
Con.
The Spawn that I took a picture.
That Spawn was amazing.
Yes, it was.
So I mean, do it for a con.
Yeah.
The funnest thing I ever did was like I was at a like the second time I went to the Cherry Con, and there was a kid who was just wearing a Halloween store-bought costume
Right.
of a clone trooper. So it had the half mask and whatnot. It wasn't really detailed or
Right.
whatever. So it was like it was kind of going back to that, just go and do it or whatever. And he was there, kind of walking around with a toy gun and stuff like that. And I asked him, "Can I take a picture with you?" And he was like, "Okay." It was just kind of like this, like that. He went like this, and I said, "Okay, pretend you're holding me up." Whatever. It was fun. It was like, and it just seemed like, you know what I'm saying? It kind of, it seemed like it made his day a little bit.
That
Yeah.
being said, I absolutely I love it when people dress up and then they like run into each other from different groups or fandoms or whatever. So
Right.
like a bunch of Ghostbusters
Oh,
will
yeah.
run
Oh,
into
yeah.
stormtroopers, or like Swamp Thing starts chasing after the stormtroopers,
Yeah.
or stuff
There
like
was
that.
there was a guy I saw a video from
Yeah.
a Comic-Con dressed up as Deadpool, like going around and
Deadpool
like
people I hate.
acting-
People that dress up in Deadpool, they're basically a-holes in real
Yeah.
life, and
Yeah.
they know it, and they want the anonymity to walk around.
right.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
basically what this video was.
100%.
Yeah.
Yep.
I have
But
never,
he was at least entertaining. He wasn't like he was being an a-hole, but like enough to where people, it was funny and playful, not just to be an a-hole.
Yeah.
Okay.
not Juggy, walking around finding Juggies or whatever.
Yeah, there's.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, well, no, it's like I have not gone to. I've only gone to maybe six comic conventions. Every single one, at least 2 Deadpools.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Every single one, and it was almost like a competition who was going to be the crappier or whatever.
The
So it's like-
douchiest.
yeah, the douchiest. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just kind of. It's just like you said. It's just an excuse. It's like, hey, I'm a jerk.
It was.
dress up like
It was.
Deadpool.
My long-term plan, because as of now, it's like you can only get like a really bad costume or a Halloween mask version, because they stopped making I want to do Akbar. Admiral Akbar.
Okay.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
Ghostbuster
Okay.
does.
Yeah.
I have a shirt of Akbar dressed as a Ghostbuster holding a trap. And I used to wear it to Dragon Con every
Oh,
year.
sweet.
Nice.
Because it's one of those that the person either gets it right away
Yeah.
or double takes and keeps going, and then you hear like 5 seconds later going, "Oh, okay." I get it." And
That was brilliant.
last year there was a guy from the 501st that did have a Akbar, but it's not a very
Like an actual costume.
he had the costume part, the below the neck was really good,
Yeah.
but it was still an older like mask head
Oh,
that was
okay.
like somebody had made off of. They didn't have a very good like permanent from Lucasfilm quality
Okay.
version.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
And so I'm hoping someday someone will bring one of those out that's available. Of like you could have it because it looked like you were wearing a mask instead of it.
Next
Do
year.
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Next year?
yeah, I know what you're
Because
talking about.
no one, apparently the only guy that sculpted it, like
Oh yeah.
it's long gone.
Ugh.
So
Oh,
like that's why
right.
even in like Last Jedi, it's digital.
Yeah.
Like that.
And the Rogue One.
There's no good.
Okay.
There's no easy way to get like a nice proportions anymore.
Yeah.
So they all either look like it's too big of eyes and stuff like that. But that's like my dream one to like combined.
That'd be
That would
awesome.
That'd be awesome. The most cosplay that I saw this year at the Motor City Con was obviously Fat Thor.
Yeah.
Yes. But
just so easy.
I'm
a redneck.
my entire life at looking through the books, I had never found Waldo more than I did at the Motor City Con. Everywhere I turned was Waldo.
In fact, that distracted you,
You from seeing some giant bazooms.
Yep.
Huh.
Yeah. I'm walking around
there's
like
usually
that's like the 10th Waldo I've seen, and some girl was walking by with just about ready to pop out of her top.
Yeah.
And I totally missed it because I was like,
Now-
you know, that is like the 10th one.
Are you
weird. That is really
Are
weird.
you
Yeah.
sure it wasn't just the same guy?
Then I had a stalker apparently, but no, it was different people.
Okay.
Yeah, 'cause
I think we should all dress up as different ethnicities of Waldo.
Ooh, I'm not. I will be other Waldo characters because I have seen that at
Oh,
Dragon Con.
okay.
The whole Waldo family, the wizard.
Oh, my
Like
God.
there's a
There's
there's
a
dog,
mother, a
white-
bunch of kids,
yeah,
a
there's like-
dog.
yeah, there's
Wow.
there's a Lady Waldo. There's the wizard. There's like two. There's like a girl and a boy.
I didn't know
that are-
this.
I
yeah.
want to-
Wow.
I want to be French Waldo.
Oh, with
But I-
them
okay, that's fine.
So
I
what?
thought you meant-
So what? It's Waldo with
Yeah.
a
Okay, so
baguette.
it's ethnic,
So-
not race.
No,
Okay, cool.
ethnic.
So I gotta be the drunk Irish
I
one
drunk Irish one. Yeah.
with the green
There
and
you
white and
go.
orange. No.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll be the
Your
white.
face will be green.
Hey, you found me, you
this-
jerks.
Yeah, it would be like a regular shirt, but like striped.
Right. Yeah, green and orange. Yeah, green and orange. Just green, white, orange, green, white, orange,
Yep.
green, white, orange. Okay.
I like it.
Sounds good.
Going back to what
Do
you were
it.
talking about with the outfit and whatnot, the 501st they make all of their outfits from scratch, so you won't be able to find any of that Lucas brand stuff from them.
From
No,
them.
I'm just saying there.
Yeah.
When I looked into it, there was like a small run of like an Akbar mask that was meant to be like full feeling.
like one of those
Yeah.
latex ones or whatever. Or?
Yes.
Okay.
And it was, but it was the guy had spent years crafting one to then just do a very limited run because it's a very big,
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
basically
Oh,
a
yeah.
helmet that
Yeah.
has
Yeah.
a lot of detail.
Yeah.
And so the only other people that make them, it's more of that rubbery mask, like it's
Yep.
covering
Yeah.
your.
There's a lot
It's
of
just like a
space.
loose
Yeah.
rubber
Yes.
mat. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it's because they never had like that's one thing Lucas doesn't have is like any sort of like reference point where like there are there's 2 trooper helmets is what from what I understand from original casts.
Oh, right.
Trooper
Yeah,
helmets
yeah.
are they own the mold still. That's
Yeah.
how
Right.
easy it's been able to keep up
Going.
with those compared to some of the other stuff. That's why I
Wow.
said like
Yeah,
there's
there's
never been a actual schematics of the proton pack
Mhm.
like
Hmm.
that Sony owns.
Yeah.
That goes back with the Phase 1 clone trooper outfits and Phase 2 because they're all CG and there's no.
Well, and the thing is with 3D printing now, a lot of that stuff is a lot more doable. But like something like an organic mask, like Akbar or whatever,
yeah.
is not really something that you could really do in 3D and make it a real thing, unless you'd
Yeah.
use it as a form.
You'd
or
have to have
whatever.
you'd have to get like a very talented sculptor to do a mold of it, and you could do you'd have to do like a life cast almost.
Yeah.
Now,
of
see
it.
what you do is
Yeah.
you just go out to the lake, you get a big fish.
Radiate it. You can
radiate
radiate
it.
There you go.
Then
You got
shove
that.
it-
It's a trap.
You got the unlicensed proton pack, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're good.
I give you credit, George, for wearing a Tusken Raider outfit.
That had
because
to have been
One
hot.
of my
Oh yeah.
co-founders of the Cherryland Ghostbusters finished his Tusken Raider this year
Mm-hmm.
and is now a member of the 501st.
Oh.
Nice.
And he's like, it's hot. He can
Oh.
only do
Oh,
it
yeah.
for about 20 minutes at a time.
Well, the mouth thing, I had to put like one of those fans you get in like a computer.
Smart.
And like 4 batteries, so just
Wow.
and like it lasted for like 30 minutes, and then it was dead, and I'm like, okay. It is.
And then you start to sound like the Tusken Raider.
Well, and it's not like the stormtroopers because it's like you're not wearing heavy armor all over the place, so you can wear fairly light stuff around here. But that helmet,
Helmet.
it's
Or
really-
absolutely nothing.
yeah, but that helmet was something I found a template online.
Yeah.
It was like a 3D model, and then when I flattened it out into whatever, and then in paper, and then I made it in paper and tarred it and stuff like that. So that's stuff you can do. It's like there's ways to do that.
it
stuff.
just takes time, and I don't.
Yeah,
Oh, no.
Like if you go back to like Motor City
Mhm.
as example, like you're gonna probably go every year potentially.
Yeah.
Kind of makes it a reason to like have a reason to like add an extra layer to
Yeah.
why you want to go back, other than the new guest
Yeah.
feature.
Mhm. Oh yeah.
Like after the first year of going to Dragon Con, which is a huge one in Atlanta, we felt like we're way too normal here. Everybody's dressed up.
Right.
We're like, we got to go back next year dressed up. Might as well, because we will blend in more.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Surprisingly.
Well, and the thing is, like when I went as the Tusken Raider, like last year, I think it was last year.
Last year or the year before. or
Yeah,
something like
I went as a Tusken Raider. I did not see another Tusken Raider, and I wasn't able to go this year. But I saw pictures. There was 5 people dressed
Yes.
up as Tusken
Wow.
Raiders.
yes.
So I'm like, oh,
I missed out.
My cohort Carl was a little surprised.
Really?
He's like, "Oh, I thought I was like the only one."
Yeah.
joining
Thought I was
from
going to
this
corner
era."
the market here.
yeah.
Yep.
He's like,
Son of a.
but they kind of look cool all together.
Right.
'Cause you're like, well, they're kind of this weird.
Well, it's
zombie
better
thing.
if it's all. If you get a group of them together, it's like it's like stormtroopers. The more you have, the better. But yeah, it's like Tusken Raiders are like I don't know.
And I want to mix it with like Tuscan Oakland Raiders,
Yes,
I wanna-
That's what it's, yeah.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
Well, the thing
Yes.
is, I'd like to do. I want him to wear a stormtrooper
Get the
helmet. And I want him
spiked
to wear
shoulder
a
pad,
white
black and
tux.
silver.
Oh, I would love to do that.
Like
Just
just a tuxedo. You know what I'm
Okay,
saying?
that
Kind
would
of
make
mix
it
it up a
s-
little bit.
That would
Yeah.
make it so much easier
To
too.
sit down for one.
Sure, that's good. Yes.
Because that armor, holy freaking crap!
Yeah.
Because it's all in pieces, so you
be-
can't like.
It's
is
in
it pinched
pieces,
or
and there's
something?
foam on the inside of
Yeah,
some of them
and-
to hold, but that stuff like holds heat like a.
And it's like you have to like if you move around, pieces shift around, and as you're walking,
you gotta
pieces,
look
you know,
look into liquid cooling Like,
Oh,
there's
yeah.
got to be some way you can figure out a liquid cooling system.
See what you do is you get a wetsuit and you just fill it with water beforehand.
There you
and then
go.
You just,
Nice, yeah.
That just
So
looks
when-
like you're pissing yourself the
Yeah.
whole time.
No,
No, unless
what-
you got something coming down your leg.
Well, what I've
It's me.
No, what I have been thinking is finally getting the Sand Trooper pack and fitting it with like ice and a
I
big
told you
fan
I'd
in
make
the
that,
back
man.
and just-
I told you I'd make that, man.
Well,
Dry-
that's what I want to do
You
with
better make a
the
giant comb,
Mandalorian
too.
outfit.
Dry
Giant
ice.
A giant
Need a
what?
giant comb for the Sand Trooper.
Yeah.
Spaceballs.
We
found.
That's all I think of when I think of Sand Trooper.
Yeah, I know.
And it's like they don't look anything like the
No.
Spaceballs, but that's I'm like, why would they be so? Why is the shoulder pad the different thing about being in the sand?
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
seriously,
hot desert.
I thought it'd
Makes
be
no sense.
You know those costumes where it looks like you're riding a horse, but you're actually the legs of the horse, or the tauntaun. There's a
Yes.
tauntaun costume.
Yeah.
I thought it'd be cool to make one of those, like, what do they call those big
Oh, not
things?
the
Bantha?
The
The-
dewback.
The dewback. Make a
Oh.
dewback, and then make it look like you're sitting on the dewback, and then in your
Yes, that
back
would be
have
cool.
like a big hair pick. There
you go.
Just see if anybody
Yes,
gets the
'cause
reference.
That is the only part of the Sand Trooper that is cool. Is
Yeah, and
those
wasn't
ones-
that what's his name? Wasn't that Tim Russ?
The guy
It
who played
is.
Tuvok.
I think
Yes,
it's Tim-
the
I
guy
think-
that played Tuvok.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
He
yeah,
was
it was the guy who
absolutely
played
the guy who yelled
Tuvok.
at.
Yeah,
Yeah. Sorry.
Who's Tuvok?
Tuvok.
from Voyager.
the brother of
Tu-
Tupac.
Okay.
No, he was a Vulcan on
Voyager.
Voyager. Yeah.
Was he the doctor on
Who's
Swamp
Smallville?
Thing?
Yeah, Swamp Thing. Yeah,
we
yeah, yeah.
just watched. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, he was.
Okay.
That was
He's
him.
in that?
Yeah, he was.
I know.
But wasn't he
Virginia
also-
Madsen's in it.
Yes,
That's why I want to see it.
she's good.
Yeah, Virginia. What's her name
And
from
Ian
Teen Wolf is
Ziering.
good, but yeah, it surprised.
What?
Ian Ziering's playing the
Yep.
Blue Devil.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Why
wow.
was
That's
he
a
wasn't in the
deep
first
DC
one at
cut,
all?
too.
No,
And Will
no,
Patton.
but he comes in.
Will
Okay.
Patton.
Will
Yeah.
Patton.
His accent
Mhm.
is awesome.
Will
Yeah.
Patton.
We were discussing
he
that.
he was the main bad guy in The Postman.
Oh, okay.
He was
He's
also
the Mothman
John.
Prophecies?
Yeah, John Travolta's right hand man in The Punisher.
Yes.
Did you
okay.
say the Postman
That Will Patton.
Prophecies?
He plays Virginia
Mothman.
Madsen's character's
Mothman
husband.
Prophecies. Oh,
He
that
said
was Richard
Postman.
Gere.
I like how we
Yeah.
we slowly
And Will
moved
Patton.
our
That
way
was a good
back
movie.
to Swamp
Yeah,
Thing.
it all
fun
comes full
movie.
circle. That's how we do.
No, that whole that's why I don't get why they're doing what they're doing with that DC online universe, because the Titans show
Was awesome.
Awesome.
I loved it, and I love that the part of it took place in Traverse City.
Yes.
It's amazing.
That wasn't and that week that I watched that, because I watched it on Netflix Canada, because
Oh, yeah.
my work computer thinks I'm in Canada. I shouldn't say I'm watching Netflix on
For
my work
tax
computer.
That's okay.
It's,
there you go.
it's,
That's
it's a
okay.
VPN.
Do you want me to edit that? I can edit that out.
This is live.
So he's live right now, George.
The same week that I started watching that and the Traverse City thing, then the Punisher season 2 had that opening sequence in Michigan.
Oh,
which
yeah.
is like, this
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
definitely not Michigan.
Right.
It's
No.
way too
Oh, yeah,
rednecky
no.
weird.
Yeah. Well, my wife keeps on making the thing every time I go through Pelston. Do they film Dice Off 2 or 3 there or whatever?
Die Hard.
Die Hard.
Die Hard.
I'm
We did
sorry.
Not, we did not film Dice Off 2.
I'm
there.
sorry. I'm sorry.
And we have not
It's like the
filmed
one place
Dice
we
Off
did
3.
film
Not yet.
Yeah, I know.
Pelston.
Yeah, exactly.
But that was all exterior
But it was
shots.
Alpena, though,
And-
not Pelston.
Alpena.
And
No,
Ash
it's Pelston.
No, it was Alpena
It was
Airport.
Alpena
Ash
Airport.
Williams is
Because they
My
had
wife is wrong.
because they had the under. Yes, Sharon, you're wrong.
She's
if you're still
watching it.
Aw.
It was
You're
it was
not
the
wrong,
Alpena
Mother.
Airport because they had the was it airport?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was the-
Because
It was
they
all
had
the
the- they-
it was just the
because they had
exterior
access to an
shots.
Air
Well, no,
Force
they had the
base,
underground
'cause it was
tunnels.
It was a huge airport, because there's an Air Force base there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
But
they
they
had a
had-
lot of
But they
space.
didn't film in Pelston at all.
No,
Oh,
it was
okay.
Alpena.
I'm sorry.
No.
That's
No,
just
no,
been
it wasn't
common knowledge in
it
my
wasn't the
house.
Pelston Airport. It was Alpena.
Okay.
Because of the part of it was I think because the underground tunnels there or whatever.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Because that whole sequence where the trick of like, oh, we think is in that airport too,
Mhm.
where it's like they get all the SWAT get all shot up.
Yep.
in
Oh,
the
yeah, yeah.
tunnel,
Yeah.
Like the construction part
Yeah.
is I think that same airport.
Yep.
wow.
Okay. I just
And Ash Williams is from
sorry.
Elk Rapids.
The more
Yes.
the more you know.
Apparently.
Oh, have you guys
Which that
heard
looked
about
nothing
that?
like Elk Rapids.
The that Ash Mortal Kombat whole debacle.
Oh,
What?
Oh,
Okay, so like a month or more ago, people started rumoring saying that Ash Williams, the character, was going to be a DLC character
on Mortal
in-
Kombat
in
11.
Mortal Kombat 11.
Okay.
Immediately, Bruce Campbell said, "No, that ain't happening," because so then earlier this week he tweeted, because they tweeted out all their first DLC character runs,
Uh huh.
which is, and at the end of that trailer it teased a chainsaw and like blood splatter. And then he tweeted back saying, "Oh, I'll have to check out this game." So he apparently went on like the Jim Norton show like the next day and said, when I first said I was denying I was in it is because I had literally not gotten a phone call. The next day after those rumors came out, they called us.
Oh, okay.
But his whole thing is that they are making an actual Evil Dead game.
Oh,
no.
And so he doesn't want them. Apparently, he's kind of been reluctant to say, let's make another character because they want to save all that for that
game. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Which may come out like in 6 months, a year, because it sounds like the game's growing bigger.
Wow.
That's awesome.
But I thought that was like really interesting.
Wow.
I still have my PS1 Evil Dead game.
That game is great, and it was like I was listening to the Jim Norton interview, and I was like, why is he not mentioning that game? Like he's done games before.
Yeah, that game was awesome. It was a lot like Resident Evil, the original.
And it had a really good storyline.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. That's cool. Hey, Evil Dead game? I'm down.
Yep.
And the Mortal Kombat have done really good with all like
the DLCs, because 10 had all like the horror. They had Mike Myers, Jason, Freddy, Predator. Oh,
really?
Nice. They had Leatherface.
Leatherface. I want to say one of them had an alien, but maybe that was 9.
You know,
It might
we're
have
talking
been.
about video games again. We still have to play Battlefront 2 on the PlayStation 2.
Battlefront 2?
On the PlayStation 2.
Yeah, like Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Okay.
Are you talking like? Are we doing a Twitch video or what?
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
No,
Just
it
talking in
depends
general.
on how well I
You're
do.
waiting to find out if it's good.
If it's good, I'm really waiting.
Yeah, isn't it? What is it? The new one 3?
I don't.
No,
Second
they
one's
came
I
out
don't
with
follow-
the second
There's a
one.
rebooted Battlefront that came out
And they
2
came-
years ago.
Yeah.
And then
earlier.
there's a earlier last year. Was
Yeah,
Oh, so it's
Battlefront.
just a rebooted
Yeah.
version of
They
it.
did,
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Wow.
Which
There's Battlefront
but
1
the
and
trailer
Battlefront
for that
2.
new Star Wars
that
game looks
launched-
pretty
yes,
awesome.
That dropped today, I think, during like,
Wait.
the beginning of E3.
Oh, well, that must have been another one, 'cause there was
The
another.
original one, yes.
How about
Yeah.
what?
You didn't see that?
There was a teaser, like a couple weeks ago for the Jedi Fallen Order that
Okay.
Bethesda's doing.
Yes.
I would say?
Okay.
Yeah.
But
Makes
it looks good though, because it has the guy who plays Jerome Valeska on Gotham. I'm assuming it looks a lot and sounds a lot like him that was in the trailer. So that's what caught my attention
But
first.
E3 officially started today because there's like a couple small
Right.
parts, and I
Yeah,
think
I've heard a
EA
few.
was going to have theirs today, and it was going to have footage, or Bethesda had their conference today, and there was going to be gameplay.
Oh,
wow.
Okay.
Okay. Cool.
And they need a win.
Oh yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
Battlefront 2 was the last good Star Wars game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
If you don't count Force or the
Force Unleashed.
Force Unleashed. Yeah,
Yeah.
Force
Some
Unleashed
people
was
like
good.
that. Some people don't.
I have some reluctance if Bethesda did it because they did
I
some
think
really
it's
good
Bethesda.
ones. Well,
Well, yeah,
let's
they've
find
been up and down.
Yeah.
out. Specifically down.
But I'm glad that they remastered the Ghostbusters game for
Oh, that was
PlayStation.
good.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes. That I'm hoping. That's why I'm like, I want to get back on Twitter.
Oh,
Right.
I want to see what's
no.
going on at FanFest, but I'm hoping they're going to announce a date because they didn't announce a date. yet.
Yeah,
They just
no,
need
okay.
some
Not
kind
yet.
of-
It,
Yeah.
it is from EA.
Oh yeah, it is Electronic Arts that did the new Star
Yes,
Wars
but
game.
because they own Bethesda.
Oh, they own Bethesda. Okay.
No,
I thought it was the other
No.
way around. What didn't somebody buy out EA?
No,
Not a-
oh,
I'm
wait.
not a
no.
video
EA
game guy.
owns the Star Wars video game license. They
I don't
hired
play
Bethesda
video
to
Right.
make it. That's what it was.
Okay.
Right.
After scrapping 2 other games that were going to be like
Oh, right.
campaign, like single player games, one which was going to be done by Naughty Dog, who did like Last of Us.
Why did he
Oh,
scrap
right.
that?
Oh.
And
Why the hell did he scrap that?
what's the other? It was gonna and they that was their second game they had scrapped after a different Star Wars first person game that actually that 1313 game that was
Oh.
going to be done by the guys that did like Dead Space,
Okay. Okay.
Really?
and they scrapped that too because they're like nobody wants to play these kind of games.
I'm
for Star
gonna
Wars.
Really?
I'm gonna
I
come
know.
over there
Okay.
and stab a couple.
I'm
of
Yes.
gonna write a
Yeah.
harshly worded letter to them.
I'm gonna tweet.
I'm gonna
harshly
write a
worded-
letter to my senator.
The
of North
the
Carolina.
video game industry
Yeah.
is fascinating right now.
Mm.
It's like the movie industry of the 90s and 80s. Like just
Yeah.
the horse is the cart is ahead of the horse. Like
Right.
they're making tons of money and making all kinds of bad decisions because there's so much money
Right.
being flown in. Like
Oh, yeah.
just really really dumb things
Yeah.
on
Somebody
they're-
comes up with an idea, they throw some money at them, and then
they make
And
bad
then they
games
want-
that are broken. All this stuff that like there's no regulatoriness to it.
Yeah.
And there's freaking, they're like, oh yeah, you could play this game, but if you want all this other stuff, you're gonna have to pay like $15, $15,
Yes.
$5, $15, $5, and blah 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 blah.
Well,
It's kind of like the streaming, how streaming went from like just Netflix to like now everybody wants to do their
own streaming.
yeah.
They want the money. And
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
diluting content.
Yes, big
So it's
time.
like
Because
the
I mean,
the
there's so
Disney-
much stuff out
Disney
there.
and DC.
Disney, DC. Now Warner Brothers wants one.
CBS Plus.
CBS,
Yeah.
CBS All
Yeah.
Access.
Yeah.
The CW wants to come out with their own
That was-
one.
Well, they have a great one that
Yeah.
works now.
Yeah. CW.
No, I'm saying that's like
Yeah.
it's a broken app.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the CW app. CW Seed's not too bad.
You can't download.
Oh
You
yeah,
can't- If you stop watching a CW show,
that's right. It starts.
it's either starts over or says I'm going to play ads for the next hour.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
that's why I don't
It's
use it.
and they only have like 5 shows.
Yeah.
to stream.
Yeah, and they only keep 5 episodes on there at a time.
Yes.
Wow.
There's,
Are
like,
you
stuff
talking
like that.
CBS? Act?
No,
No,
the
the
CW.
Oh, CW. Oh, really? I didn't even know they had one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Wow.
I just know if I'm going to be a continuing Trekkie, I have to get
CW All Access.
No, CBS.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Have any
CBS
of you
All
guys
Access.
played the Ghostbusters video game?
I played the original a little bit on PC.
It's basically Ghostbusters 3.
yeah.
Huh.
Mhm.
It's written by them. Everybody comes back.
Yeah, and you play a rookie or whatever. Yeah, yeah. It was good. I liked it on the PC. It was cool.
I played it on
I
the
need to get it for
original
PS4.
Nintendo.
There are previous
Sega
Ghostbusters
Master
games.
System.
Yes.
Sega Master
So,
System.
Somebody
I
pointed
played
out
the
to me
Ben
the
had
Sega
that.
one. I'd
Yeah.
never
Yeah,
have seen
Ben
that.
had a Sega Master System, and we played the crap out of that.
Yeah.
It was like a side scroller one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It totally was.
'Cause I only
But
played
it was
the
awesome.
Nintendo one that was like that basically was like the original.
Jump in
Ninja
whenever
Turtles
you're
one.
ready.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
know. I'm sorry. I'm still
Go- no,
hung
go
up
ahead.
on the Star Wars thing. It was. It's
We blew your mind today, Ben.
It's an upcoming action game from Respawn Entertainment, which
That's
did
it.
the Titanfall and Apex Legends. Titanfall was okay. It's pretty good. The second one was a
But
little
it's
bit
all
better.
people that used to work for like before Titanfall. They all did all the COD games, all the Call of Duty games. So we're talking
It
people
does
that know
it-
how to
it-
make campaigns.
Yeah, it has a very Call of Duty feel with the graphics that I saw.
Oh, okay.
Quick
Go ahead.
note, just somebody, Danny, is it Holroyd?
Yes.
Says, hi, Nathan.
Hello. Danny is one of the co-founders of the Great Lakes Ghostbusters Coalition.
Oh, okay.
One of the founders of the Kalamazoo Ghostbusters.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Awesome.
okay.
and
cool.
pretty much he is personally an example to how to do dressing up like a Ghostbuster
Cool.
and
Oh,
to the
really?
community, and just an overall awesome guy.
So
Awesome.
it's like you and him are like kind of the guys to go to if you want to kind of get into this, or?
No, it's just like we used him as the blueprint of like, okay,
Oh, okay.
like this is not a weird thing. We're not coming up with something new. He's been doing it for years.
It's not a fetish.
Connecting to like the Kalamazoo area and
But it could be.
just making it like a fun thing that you want other people will join. And it's
Okay.
not about, because there are, just like any other sort of fandom, there's like groups that like it's just them and their friends. They don't
Oh,
want other
right.
people. If you don't come with like authentic everything,
Yeah.
you might as well not be involved.
Now, is your group like if somebody wanted to get into, they could get part of your group, or
Yeah.
it's not exclusive?
Nope.
Okay.
We just
Do you have like a vetting process or
no.
anything?
I mean, yes, like in terms of like if you're gonna start joining us on events, we're gonna kind of start to go. Are you somebody that's okay to be around children? Are you
Right.
that
Oh,
kind
right,
of
yeah.
thing? Like not like we're gonna run a background
Or-
check, but we're gonna maybe ask the right kind of questions. But like,
I drop
we
the
just-
F-bomb every other day. What are you talking about?
yeah,
Every
but
I like to
other
wear an adult
day.
diaper on the outside of my.
Just one a day.
But it's
Yeah.
mostly just if
Is it
people
9
want to
o'clock?
join,
No.
Yeah.
you can become part of the group, even if you're just like, I love to tinker and make props.
Mhm.
I don't really want to go in public.
Okay.
Okay, we'll bring you in.
But you could still be part of the group. Now,
And-
how does somebody get involved? I mean, if somebody was like, say, listening and was like wanting to do this, but they didn't know
They
that it
can
was
just
local.
message our Facebook page, the Chairland Ghostbusters in Northern Michigan. That's the first step.
Okay.
We usually tell people, here's like the easy options to get like a flight suit, so you can kind of feel like you're part of one.
Okay.
And
So
then-
you'll give them tips on how to get their
Yeah,
stuff and whatnot.
and
Cool.
then it's more like, well, here's the events we're doing. Do you want to come join, or do you just want to like be involved, but maybe you're not really ready to like go out in public
Right,
for
well-
all kinds of reasons?
Well, it's like what you're saying is like somebody who like makes props or something like that could
Yes.
be part of your group to help make props
Yes.
or something like that. Whatever.
Like, hey, because like the other member, like one of the co-founders that did the Tuscan Raider, Carl, he's not really big into like shaking hands and kissing babies
Yeah.
kind of thing. And that's what I love doing, like
Right.
hounding people to let us come to events.
Mm-hmm.
But he can build and design stuff like nobody's business when it comes to logos.
Cool.
And so he's found his lane, and that's what I'm hoping more people want to do. Like, hey, I'm an actual like prop maker. I've been making stuff, but I've never wanted to put one of these on. Does anybody want to use it?
Oh, okay.
That,
Cool.
or, I mean, the guy that owns Aaron, who owns the Ecto that we had the last
Oh,
2
right,
years, he only did it because he already made other kind of movie cars. He has a
Mm.
kit. He has a mystery
Wow.
mobile.
Oh, so he's
Oh,
not necessarily
wow.
a Ghostbuster.
He has grown to love it.
Oh, okay.
But when he first picked up the car, he was actually going to do it for a Halloween because it's a hearse.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was going to do it as a Halloween project because he already did stuff where he took like coffins and made them into like cool like dune buggies and other kind of
really?
stuff. Because him and another guy did all this big like how to make Halloween props and movie cars. His partner, friend of his, like did like a Jurassic Park vehicle.
Wow.
Ooh.
But when he bought the hearse to make this cool, Elvira meets Dracula meets whatever kind of idea he had in his head, they started announcing the car for the 2016 movie, and it's like, oh well, that's the exact car I already have, except
Okay.
this is an '85
Wow.
Cadillac, not an '84.
That's
Okay.
pretty damn cool.
He's like,
That's-
well, why don't we do this? And his cousin, who was big into Ghostbusters, says, we are definitely doing this. And he's grown to love Ghostbusters.
So
But
it's like
he's,
it's kind of
into
like a
car-
gateway drug
Yeah.
for him.
It was. But like there's tons of people I know in other groups, not only in our whole 14, but all throughout the country where like they wanted to build an Ecto and they just want to sit in it
Well,
and be in a
there's-
parade. They
there's-
don't want to dress up. They don't want to build anything else.
There's a lot too for the Jurassic Park Jeep Safari.
Yes, let me tell you.
Huge,
We do another
huge
separate
following.
podcast
for
of me working on my own Jurassic
that. Oh,
Park
you
Jeep.
got? Oh, yeah.
Well, another group is doing one, and then I'm making my Cherokee into one, which is
Nice.
going to be tacky and not accurate, but I don't care.
What year is your Cherokee?
Yeah.
14. 2014.
2014.
So it
Okay.
looks nothing.
Oh,
like-
yeah.
But I don't care because at this point I realize cosplay and dressing up even your car is about not caring.
Yep. We got a '98
Do
Cherokee.
it. Do it.
I want to do it as the prototype 2 Explorer.
Yes.
Jungle Explorer.
Yes.
The gray with the
Yes.
black, or was it black stripes or yellow stripes? Yeah.
I think I know which one you're talking about.
Do it.
Yeah,
the
there's
one
easy
they
references
never
for all that
they
stuff.
never released it. It was a prototype toy
Uh-huh.
that they were going to release.
Okay.
Do it.
I've been wanting.
I mean,
Well,
you could
I
always
mean-
go buy a Mercedes and do the Mercedes.
no, no.
You gonna help me
not-
turn my Aerostar into the Death Star? Or the,
He wants to turn
Well, I
his,
said
I
good
could.
Star Wars stuff too. So
really?
he wants to turn his car to look at kind of like a Death Star, and I want to make mine look like a TIE fighter.
Yeah.
I like the TIE Fighter, and I'm pretty sure I've seen
Yeah.
vehicles, cars into Star Wars vehicles.
Yeah.
The Death Star, I don't.
Well,
Well, not Death Star.
the
The Star Destroyer is what I meant.
Oh, the Star Destroyer.
Just point
Yeah.
the end and put
Oh,
the thing
yeah.
on the top.
Yeah.
It's
Our-
a gray. So it's a silver gray van. It's pretty much there.
I
Yeah.
painted ours. I painted the hubcaps like this rust orange color because it looked like the snow speeder from Hoth.
Oh, really?
But only one's still that color though.
No,
Right.
they are. No, I got 3 out of 4.
Oh, 3. Oh, that's right.
Yeah, and then went to the mall and I found a windscreen of Luke in the
Ooh.
snow speeder.
See, I have a Millennium Falcon sunscreen, but I've
Nice.
never seen that.
Oh, I
one.
have a
Yeah.
Millennium
want-
Falcon
I
one
want
too.
that one.
Yeah, yeah, boy.
I want to.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be
We wanted
that'd be
the
The
logo.
logo on the hood.
I want to.
Oh, right.
What I want to do is I want to get like 2 Imperial symbols, put them on each, like my driver's side and passenger doors, and then
Yes.
like paint.
You got
paint it
one of 'em
complete-
already.
I do. Paint them black. Put like make it look like the First Order sort of TIE fighter because my
Nice.
car's already black. And
Nice.
put like the red strip on one side and the top. And
See, I mean, I've already got plans to make like like the big, like the little toddler size like car that's like a push plastic, like not play
Tyco.
Tyco type
Power.
like,
Yeah.
Power wheels.
like a Power Wheel thing.
Yeah.
Into an Ecto for my children.
Oh,
That'd be funny.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Like,
That'd be cool.
Yep.
why not? Like,
Yeah.
let's just punish them with my children.
Well, thinking of cosplay and stuff like that, I'm like, again, I'm not, shape wise, but there are things like I wanted to make a Dalek from like,
Yes.
Doctor Who.
That's cool.
Do it.
I thought that because you sit down,
Yeah,
But wouldn't it just be easier to make a remote control one than a?
It would be easier, but it would
wouldn't be
be
in
better if I was inside it, squirting water out of the gun.
Okay, fair enough.
Oh, have you
To
seen
interact?
Have
Yeah,
you
exactly.
seen some of like the
get the voice
Dalek
thing.
outfits and stuff like that people just drive around in? It's totally cool if you look it up online because like they'll be like exterminate, and like shoot somebody with.
remote control ones.
Well,
a
Yeah.
lot.
well, John,
Well, it's
John,
like with
we
the
just-
astrodroids, they make do the same thing, but
Well,
I
we
would
just-
want to be in it.
We just mentioned on the last week's episode that John Barrowman has like one that he can drive around in his house.
Yeah, I'm going to use his. I'm just going to go
I
overtake
feel
his.
like his definitely has
Does he
like
even-
a bar attachment to it, like a
Probably.
cocktail attachment
He-
to it. For
Does
sure.
he have cats?
I
Because
don't
if
know.
so, that would be awesome.
I have made a TARDIS.
I saw an interview with him, and he talked about how like a lot of his different houses, like his collection of comics and nerd
Stormtrooper
memorabilia.
Dalek.
Dude has like a crazy collection. It's insane.
It's like him
I'm
like
serious.
on Instagram,
Like
doing a garage sale from his Palm Springs house, and it was just
the New Order.
piles of Doctor Who stuff.
Yeah.
Wow.
yeah, it's
Oh,
insane.
heck yeah.
Dude's a super fan.
Cool.
Yes.
Super fan.
I would totally do that, man.
That would be awesome.
All right. Well, we could go for hours.
We could.
We've already gone
And we will.
almost 2.5.
Just one more note
One more
from
note.
Danny. Says, thanks, brother, for the shout out. The Cherryland folks rock it out.
We do.
They do.
Rock
We are
out
honored
our
to have
cherries out.
we are honored to have them in the coalition.
Oh, well, thank you.
I've
I
got
appreciate that.
he says he's got a Durango Ecto.
Yes,
Nice.
lightning as he calls it.
Oh, okay. Huh.
It is ectofied enough, but the De las Ristons, or whatever you want to say, the best part of it is so
Yeah.
I don't have the patch on, but the Great Lakes Coalition logo is kind of mimicking a state puff.
Okay.
Like
Oh,
it's
cool.
white with then the like his scarf thing is blue comes down, and then there's the shape of Michigan.
Okay.
That's kind of using the ascot or whatever you want to
Yeah,
call
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
That logo is on the hood.
Oh,
It's on
Wow.
the entire hood.
That's awesome.
And it's like, even though you're not like for sure it's an ecto, you're like, this is something cool.
Oh, yeah.
Right, oh, yeah.
I parked next to a pickup. I'll show you the picture. Somebody's pickup. They had
Is it black?
Yeah, with
Okay.
the lines going
Yes,
down the side.
that was Jason from the Grayling Ghostbusters.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I parked next to it. I took pictures. I'm like, oh my god.
Like
this is-
we have there's another member that has a Chevy HSR.
oh, cool.
I've seen minis. The Cleveland people have a mini.
Wow.
Someone in Toledo has a lime green Slimer Jeep Renegade that has been Ghostbusterified.
That's awesome.
I've seen the Dodge Magnum turned
Yes,
in.
the
I
guys in
love-
Wisconsin have that one,
I love the Magnum turned into that. I
Yes.
think that is perfect.
and that's why I knew my Jeep Cherokee was never going to work because it's not. It's not
Yep.
white,
Yep.
but more importantly, it's got a weird shape that just doesn't lend to ectomobileness. So
Yep.
There's the big problem with all that is that like I would love to do any of these sort of things to my car, but I have to fix my brakes first.
yeah,
Yeah.
that would probably
That's
help.
me
That'd
too.
be
No,
that'd be
no,
good.
just do the other stuff first.
I have
Then.
subtle things on the inside that make mine Jurassic Park. Like I have a first aid kit that is from the Wrangler from the first
Oh,
one.
jeez.
I have a tag.
All you
and-
have in here are maps and a very powerful flashlight. You don't have anything.
I totally do in the back. To me, I'm cosplaying. No one else knows that. But to me, that's all that matters.
Here's the question: do you have like those really heavy goggles or whatever?
Man, they're
I
really
don't have
heavy.
the fancy ones from the Explorer, but I do have a different ones I got that someone gave to me as a Christmas present. It's a VR headset.
Oh,
That
yeah.
says
Oh,
Jurassic
yeah.
World on the front.
Nice.
That I repainted to look really detailed. Those are sitting in the same box that has all like my Jurassic Park and like my flares and everything else.
Sweet.
So like I said, I am driving around as a park ranger. at
Yep.
Jurassic Park, just nobody else knows.
That's
Good.
awesome.
Undercover.
All right, Nate. It's been great to have you on the
Thank you
episode
for coming.
today. It's
So
been
one more
awesome.
question. I'm sorry.
It's been a lot of fun. Thanks to everybody that's been watching.
This is really fun. I'm
Oh, yeah.
really happy you
Well,
guys are having success with this.
Yeah,
Thank you.
it's been we've
Entertaining.
been really good.
We've
We've
at
had
least
a lot
had
of fun.
2 people watching.
Yeah, well, no, my number has not gone below
We've had
4.
as many as 12 people.
I mean, I don't
See-
know what numbers you have for your just the actual podcast, but
Yeah.
you guys have found a lane.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We're
Entertainment and what works for you guys.
Well, and
Yeah.
sometimes when the live stuff, we'll take this and we'll put it at, so we'll post it as just
Yeah.
an audio, so we get,
yeah,
whatever.
like
we do
the
good.
the most views we've had on a video on our page is like 100 80 almost.
cool.
So
Yep.
that's a lot of pretty cool. We're almost up to 200 likes on the page
Yep.
too.
And we should really do something
all
something
from
really
Ruby.
cool.
Yeah,
We should really do that.
when he. Yeah, well, we can talk about that when
We
we get
can
off the
talk
air,
about
too.
that
Let's talk about it now. We got time, right?
No,
I
but
mean, I'll give away like some Ghostbuster stuff if you can get for the 200th birthday likes. I'll do it. I got stuff.
Okay.
well, yeah,
Stickers.
like
I'll give away.
oh,
you
yeah.
you get a drive to get to 200 likes on Facebook. I will donate.
You heard it.
stickers.
You heard it.
Okay.
All right. And
Just
Boots had
randomly
also
pick
mentioned too that 200th like will be a guest on the episode episode 2.
Oh,
Yeah.
Whoever's the
That's
200th
That,
like
right.
that
on
was
the
my
page.
idea.
That was
yeah,
his
that's
like-
way better than
That I was going to do that, but they will also get some stickers
Some-
too.
yes.
that we will give them on the episode that
All
they're
right.
Yeah.
Sweeten the pot.
on, right? But yeah, I was going to
Awesome.
do that on
Okay.
on here.
Okay.
I was gonna
Yeah,
do that
thanks,
on the live
thanks
thing.
Nate, for coming. That was
Thanks
really
for
cool.
coming. It's been
Thank you very
great.
much. It's
This has
been
been anytime that you want to come on to talk
yeah.
about anything, let us know.
Okay,
We're
definitely.
we'll be glad to have you on. It's been so much fun sitting here. I mean, shoot, we've been here almost 2.5 hours and it hasn't felt like
Really?
it. So
Yeah,
What?
My
Yeah.
fiance is probably really
Yeah, I
pissed
gotta
off.
Yeah,
go home,
so-
guys.
yeah,
So tell us about that. Nate.
this has been the
No,
Fat
that's,
Irish
yeah.
Fat Irish Nerd
We're not the
podcast
Ghostbusters
for
single.
this week.
Now there.
I've been Keith Patrick.
I've been Chris.
Is it my turn?
Yes.
I've been Jorge.
I've been Boots.
I've been Nate. I think.
You're short, your belly button sticks out too far, and you're a terrible burden on your poor mother.
You don't have to
Take
say it
it
aloud.
Take it easy.